I made a shocking discovery today when I was hanging out over at MEUK's Discord server.
Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, did you hear what I said? It's all about...
Dude, where the fuck are the flat earthers?
I want some Bully.
I wanted to abuse some flurfs tonight. I wanted to abuse some flurfs tonight. Damn it! I wanted to abuse some flurfs tonight.
Yeah. The only people that say there's a curve formula are fishermen. So unless you're a fisherman,
You know that's not true. You know that's not true.
listen. That is true. Well, I'm going to post the video for you right now. Then let me just get this up.
Sun paths, sunrises and sunsets, and the sun path perfectly correlate to any geographic location to a sphere. Hold on.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
What sounds like BS, Tal?
What have you said?
Oh yeah, remember I do bring you the breaking news, the big news. That does sound wild. That does sound outrageous. Like, how on earth could a professional say that water?
There is no geodetic survey that would ever say
That's
that.
what I thought. That's what I thought. Check this out. This is what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought there's no one going to agree with little old Spurs chemo here, right? But lo and behold,
take it with a pinch of salt.
Lo and behold,
they were literally talking about this video earlier, and they what they talk.
Yeah, there's a lot. No, remember, I call shockwaves.
If you were here like an hour earlier, or if you scroll up, they were talking about this video and they debunked it. Fuck, I wasn't listening to them, but
does it?
Yeah, what you want to do? We try to deceive some of our foreign guests. So listen to it yourself, and try and figure out what's being said. Yeah.
You mean the
Where's the actual numbers for the data for the geodetic survey? Because this is some guy staring at a fucking camera.
Yeah, it's like a bridge. Have you ever built a bridge before? You need a little bit of expertise here, hibbity hoppity. It doesn't sound to me like you actually know what you're talking about. I mean, look,
it doesn't sound like you know what you're talking about.
That's really why I speak to professionals, because I don't know.
I have a question for you. Why do sunrises and sunsets and the general path of the sun throughout the sky match perfectly to a sphere on any location on the Earth, and then you can correlate that to the sunspots as well to make sure you got your latitude correct? This is only possible on a sphere. Why did that happen?
No, well, like I said, you would have to show that the Earth is curving. Now, geodetic surveyors...
It does. Every geodetic survey says that the Earth has curvature.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yes,
you need to find one. All right, show me one right now.
Okay.
Right now. Post one right now, a geodetic survey that says the Earth is curving, because every single one that I know...
No, dude, you pulled that out of your ass. Every single one.
No. Look, instead of just saying I pulled it out of this, there, and everywhere, you show me a geodetic survey right now.
A fucking video. You didn't post what a fucking geodetic survey even is, man.
Yeah, you show me your version of your expert saying, yeah, water is not level. Otherwise, you're just a fisherman making things up, because according to the professionals, only old fishermen back in the day said, oh, yeah, there's a curve formula. But if you're a real professional today, here, right now, measuring the Earth, you measure flat. Everything is flat.
Show me your experts. Show me your experts from geodetic surveying saying that the Earth is flat. Show us that, Chemo. Where's the time stamp? Show me all these professionals from the Geological Survey or the GSA in America saying the Earth is flat. These professionals, where are they, Chemo? Or, as Hippity said, are you pulling that out of your ass?
There we go.
Yes, he is.
There we go. There's the link again.
There's no data in any of that. There's no data in that stupid fucking video. Some guy making some commentary.
Yeah. That's an I want statements from the GSA saying the Earth is flat. If that's what professionals are saying.
Who are these people you're talking about?
Geological Survey Association.
Who are they? Where are they? How do you know about them? Who have you spoken to?
Obviously, you don't know who the professionals are.
Yeah, who have you spoken to from there?
Informed, but you carry on, mate.
Yeah, who have you spoke to from there? That's a place that you're talking about. Nobody, nowhere.
Hey, take a breath, big guy. Go look. Take a look.
Can I just inject a matter? You're talking about like different sort of surveyors, right? What's the difference?
Because you're the one you claim you don't have data, dude. You posted a video of a guy on a webcam. Like,
what sort of surveyors are you talking about? You know, these geodetic surveyors that you're talking about. What tools do they use? Are they not just normal surveyors?
Listen, please name one surveyor.
Are they a different sort of surveyor?
Dude. There we go. Nick posted something else too.
Somebody gonna tell me, please. Somebody. These geodetic surveyors. What's the difference? What do they do special?
So all of them.
Are they not just surveyors?
Horizontal. All of them say it's a sphere. All of them, dude.
I'm sorry they say what?
There's no conspiracy.
They say what is a sphere?
The Earth is a sphere.
Level.
All of them say
Do they say level?
No, they say it's a sphere.
They say level is a sphere.
No, they don't say level. They say it's a sphere.
Okay, so the water level, when they say that, the word level.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they say that is?
Well, you can have a level line tangent to a sphere, can't you?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
But that level line would be a straight line, would it?
Yeah, but it still can be tangent to a sphere.
But the level would be straight in a horizontal position, right?
Can you not have a level line on a sphere?
Listen.
It's terrible.
I'm asking a question, yes or no?
Yes, you can put a table level surface on top of a sphere, yes.
No, I'm talking about a tangent line.
Can a tangent be horizontal on top of a sphere? Yes. Who's this? Foolish. Right. Are you going to tell us the difference between these surveyors? Or are we just going to take it that surveyors measure the curvature of the Earth? Or are there a special type of surveyor somewhere that we need to know about? And can you tell me what they do and how they do it, with what tools, please?
I'll refer you to the Ordnance Survey, which is a British map-making cartographical society which uses surveying, which, you know, that's been around for well over 150 years producing maps. And yeah, they are surveyors, they're cartographers, and they all say the Earth is a sphere.
They make flat maps, plain.
Trust, you're getting away from
Are you retarded? Horizontal.
Your statement about how something can be level.
We just want to know about these surveyors that you're talking about, please.
Hold on a second, Bev. I just want to hear what Terry's saying. Sorry, Terry.
We still didn't get a clarification about being level on a sphere.
Oh, you can be level on a sphere. Who knows
that completely avoided the question.
Well, it's a semantic argument rather than a factual one. That's the problem.
No, we first didn't get a clarification on what surveyors he's talking about.
Every surveyor says it's a sphere. Find me a surveyor that says it's flat.
Yeah, so Rakia, that's why I use the Ordnance Survey, because Bev's British, and he'll know who the Ordnance Survey are. They're the most famous cartographers in the
UK. They make all of the maps for the UK.
And they make all of the maps
to scale on a flat planar surface
with longitudinal lines, which means that it's not
no
flat.
It's a grid reference. Do you not know about the OS, right?
Oh yeah, I know about the OS.
Yeah, they're not longitudinal lines then, are they? We have a grid reference system. Thank you.
They have a Cartesian reference system, don't they?
It's grid, isn't it? It's not longitudinal, latitudinal, because it's not. But well, it got back to the point, right? These surveyors that you say are mapping onto a flat planar surface, right?
Oh my god, alright, hold on.
Anyway.
These surveyors that you're quoting as being the ones that measure, they measure curvature?
The Ordnance Survey say it's flat. Okay, so get me a statement.
Okay, Jesse Kozlowski said that you can measure the drop of the water level from horizontal.
Why are you changing the topic?
This is measuring the curvature that you say is there, right? And your guy, the one that actually claims to be a geodetic surveyor, Jesse Kozlowski, says that you can measure the drop of the water level from horizontal. Right now, surveyors use a horizontal, don't they? That tool that they have, an auto level, right, establishes a horizontal line of sight.
It's a one-trick argument, and you've ran it.
You know what they do, right? They measure a vertical distance from that horizontal. That's what that tool does.
It's the same argument you've run a dozen times, and
it's not an argument. I'm just telling you how surveyors do things.
Because you want to equate level with horizontal. That's your whole
level is horizontal. That's what I'm telling you.
You have. It's a semantic.
Do you not agree that level's horizontal?
And therefore, because level is horizontal, the Earth must be flat.
No, is that the equation? Is that what you're saying? Because Fight the Flat Earth says that as well. If level is horizontal, then the Earth is flat. Is that what you're saying? Is that all we've got to do?
A level where every point between the two curves is equidistant. That is still level, mate.
So that's not horizontal, though, is it? You know.
Well, yeah, that's because we've just.
Because horizontal is a straight line.
But level and horizontal are not synonymous.
They are, though. That is what you do as a surveyor.
That's what you just disagreed with.
That's what elevation is. It's a horizontal distance, right, on the vertical, isn't it? Elevation change is a horizontal plane parallel.
Elevation is perpendicular to the surface you're measuring your elevation from.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I just said. Yeah.
No, you didn't. You said something different.
Yeah, perpendicular is two straight lines. Yeah,
it just means it's the shortest route between A and B, which when we're going...
Yeah, that would be vertical. It's a vertical incline on a horizontal difference.
Only used in geodesic and surveying.
Pardon?
Is horizontal and level only used in geodesic and surveying?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Surveyors use horizontal, don't they? I mean, that's as far as I know. What are you separating some different sorts of surveyors somewhere?
The words horizontal and level are not just used in one field.
No, everybody uses horizontal and level as meaning the same thing. That's what it is. Level is the everyday practice of horizontal.
No, they do not. Horizontal and level are not used in the same thing.
But when they are used, it means not curved.
Yeah.
Horizontal.
Yeah,
level.
Horizontal is not curved, I would say that. Level can be curved.
No, level's a straight line as well, right?
No. Level can be 2 points, can't it?
What?
It doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, Russ.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at, Russ. Level doesn't mean it's curved.
Oh, you mean like if you've got a water level and it's like a mile long, you mean the point at each end where the water is level? You mean them 2 points? That sort of a level.
I can take 2 circles and I can level them without making them straight.
Brilliant. That sounds fantastic. Can you show us that? Do us a video of it.
It's called my motorcycle tire.
Sorry?
It's a semantic argument. Look in the chat.
It is a semantic argument.
So say that again. It's called your motorcycle tire.
Isn't level.
Look in the debate.
And I get a very uncomfortable ride.
Sorry. Go on. Do that again.
Hold on. Flat.
No, don't come and save him, Hoppy. Come on, foolish. Let's have a go of this.
Perpendicular to the direction of Earth's gravity.
Let's go with this.
So you're playing off
dictionary
definition, dude.
Foolish.
Go ahead, look in the main chat. Look in the debate chat box.
Please, foolish. Come on.
You're confusing flat with level.
Let's have this level motorcycle.
Look in the
wheels.
Chat box, dude. Hey, Bev, are you gonna look?
No, I'm waiting for foolish. I know you're trying to save him, Hoppy, and it's very nice of you, but I mean, foolish. I'm sure surely foolish can talk for himself, Hoppy, right? He doesn't need saving, does he?
I take my motorcycle in to get its tire changed. They have a leveling machine, which ensures that the tire.
You mean the balance?
No, that's different. Balance is different to leveling. You don't ride motorbikes, do you?
You need to get your tyres levelled, not balanced.
This is literally called an appeal to definition.
If the rim of the tyre is not properly inserted into the wheel, then you get bulges in the tyre. That causes a very uncomfortable ride, and I've had one bike that had that problem. Yeah, because basically I bent the rim slightly. When I took it back in, they realised what the problem was, because the tyre was not levelled. And that was the term they used. So obviously,
is Sean Hoffer been teaching you that?
Incredulity is actually just shows.
Did you learn that from Sean Hofford?
No, I did not learn that from Sean Hofford. I've been riding motorbikes.
That's the only person I've ever heard that say that before.
Sean and I actually had that discussion, so he probably got it off me.
Oh, Sean got it from you.
Probably, I don't know. I know Sean.
Did you hear? Did you hear when he tried to give that to Mick West? Did you hear Mick West's reaction to that?
No.
No. Mick went, nah, you can't really have that. That sounds a bit stretching it a bit.
A leveling machine.
But I'm sure there'd be people here.
So now we have another
to back up your use of the word of level going on a motorcycle tyre.
I'm using a semantic argument. So cool, we're on even footings.
Except yours doesn't make any sense, and nobody here is understanding what you're talking about.
Your entire
everybody else
argument,
is understanding what I'm talking about. You don't. Don't try and include everybody else when they're not in the conversation.
Your entire argument is
See, look, even you've got Hoppy trying to save you. He's like, he knows how ridiculous it sounds. He didn't even want you to say it in the first place.
I told you about the level tyre thing years ago because I do cars and stuff, so I brought that up years ago.
Terry, about the tyre being level. What's it level with?
It's level with its rim.
It's level with its rim.
Level with its rim, it wouldn't be round with the rim.
Dude, you're playing like
this is
definitions.
Brilliant. I'm playing off definitions.
You're ignoring the real argument by ignoring all these observations we make by playing off fucking definitions.
How do we prove that level is curved? How do we do that? Do we say we get a horizontal and we measure the drop of the level from the horizontal, right? I mean, doesn't that make sense?
Why are you so obsessed with this horizontal level?
Because it can be measured. Jesse Kozlowski, your top geodetic surveyor, says you can measure the drop of the water level from the horizontal.
Listen, you retard. The surveyors themselves tell you don't confuse flat and level, and they give you the context. Flat describes a planar surface. Level means the same height or perpendicular to the direction of Earth's gravity. This is
perpendicular.
The surveyors themselves telling you this.
Perpendicular is a straight line, right? There's no.
Holy shit!
You can't have a perpendicular to a curve.
Can I ask you a few questions?
The geometric definition of the words that you're using even say it's straight.
Oh my god. Can I ask you a few questions?
Well, you've not answered anything I've asked so far.
I told you, you're playing off definitions for no
Who's this? Who is this?
And ignoring the meat of the conversation.
Is this Hoppy?
Does this a lot.
Hoppy, are you after abusing a group of people? Because just be aware that I'm not a flat earther, right? Because the earth, as I consider it, to be mountains and valleys, but the water level is horizontal, right? So don't be accepting, right, that you can abuse me because I'm a flat earther, because I'm telling you now, I'm not.
Is the earth a sphere?
So don't be putting me in a group of people that you're bigoted against, okay?
I'm not putting you in a group, but is the earth a sphere?
Can you prove it?
Yes, I can. Okay. Can you please explain to me this image I just posted with the offshore wind turbines?
Can I explain
horizon,
it? Somebody's took a picture of things.
It due to the curvature. Can you please explain that?
Is that right? Okay. Let's get this straight. At that line there that you're talking about, when you say, did you say horizon?
The horizon, yes.
Okay. Would that be you making that horizon a geometric
No, apparent. It's an apparent. It's always.
It's just an apparent thing. Okay,
It's
so
always apparent. You can never see the geometric horizon due to Earth's atmosphere being made out of water and other substances that can have refractive abilities.
So what you're in fact saying is, why can I see a picture of an apparent position there? Because I'd say because somebody took a picture of it with a camera.
Hold on. It is apparent, but it's still significant. Like when you look, if you look through a fishbowl, the fish are apparent. They're not literally there, but they're only a little bit off here or there. The fish are still there, though. It's not like we're gonna have a 50-meter difference. So could you?
If he wants to use that argument, Hippity, then every observation that he makes on a level is apparent.
What argument are you talking about, foolish? You've not even given me a chance to answer. Well, and if he wants to make that argument, man.
Sorry, if I can finish my point, I'll explain. So if
you can finish your point about what if argument that I'm going to make, if that one, you carry on poisoning the well, right?
Yeah, so I was responding to the word apparent, where you want to draw that in and make a big thing of it. So if you're saying that because of atmospheric, so for something to be refracted, it has to fucking be there. So we have a horizon that's an apparent horizon because there is an actual geometric horizon. So that would be, a reasonable antecedent to that claim. And if you want to say, oh, well, you can't rely on that because of atmosphere, then I'll say, well, you can't rely on any measurement you take because, you're looking at it in atmosphere.
Okay, wait, Bev, I have one question for you. So actually, let me.
Right, just stack them up, right? Yeah, just keep going. You might be able to get foolish to answer it for you, right?
Hold on.
Sounds great. This.
Okay. So can you please click the first video, the one that says Big Dipper?
What we doing here? What's going on here?
No, I want to ask you one question because you've been asking.
Did you not just ask me a question before? No. And then foolish answered that, or are we completely going past that one now because you've realised it's a bit silly? What is going on here?
You were just playing off words, dude. Right, come on. Okay. But anyway, can you just please click the video?
Can I ask again? Like, is your purpose of being here because you want to abuse a group of people?
I'm not abusing you. I have a question for you.
Well, I'm asking you. Is your purpose for being here so you can be here to abuse a group of people?
I'm not abusing you. I'm not here to abuse anybody, okay? I'm just here to have a conversation.
Okay, well...
Nobody's abusing anybody, Bev.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
I mean, I don't like it. You know me. I don't like people abusing each other. It irks me, and it doesn't matter what fucking side it comes from.
Right.
If I think someone's being unfair, I'll stick up for that person, and you see to do it.
So in the first video, you see when labeled Big Dipper, the horizon literally blocks portions of the northern sky. That but to other observers they see it, but to the observers on lower latitudes, it's getting blocked by the horizon. And then in the second video, the southern sky, we see the exact same thing. Certain people they could see the full rotation, but to others the horizon's blocking it. And then Polaris, we got the observations of Polaris as well to back it up. And on top of that, we got sun paths, the path of the sun from sunrise to sunset, and the fact that we can track the sun's exact what's it called? Rotation, because it's not rotating, like it's in one still position by using sunspots matched to any latitude. So how are you going to say Earth is any other shape when all these observations are put together?
Dude, I'm just saying that level is horizontal, and I've got a way to show you.
You're not going to answer my question.
I can prove it. I can prove it multiple ways.
Okay, no, but you're literally, your argument is this definitions mean this, therefore the Earth is.
No, it's not.
Therefore the Earth is not.
He's not claiming the Earth is flat.
No, seriously, he's claiming the Earth is not.
The level is horizontal. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? But that's where we're at. In fact, we may even be going to straight lines don't curve pretty soon.
Like that. So let's grant the fact that level is horizontal, etc. What does that mean when you look at that with regards to the shape of the Earth?
What? It means that must mean that fight the flat Earth's wrong, wouldn't it?
So let's say level and horizontal are synonymous. So what's the shape of the Earth then, if that's true?
I don't know. I've never been to the extremities. Have you?
Oh, so Bev, the combined observations we have are only and only possible on a sphere. There's not that many shapes that exist, believe it or not.
Okay.
The only way these observations are possible is on a sphere.
I know. Like you've got a model in your head that tells you sphere, right?
It's not about a model. It's about literally every single observation we make shows that it's a sphere.
Well, what about
the sun rises and the sun sets?
What about if I can make logical, geometrical, and observable practical proof that level is horizontal?
Oh my fucking god, dude!
Well, if that
would you not be interested in that? Like, would that not like sort of interest you a little bit?
Then you've got a problem with your argument.
The geodetic surveyors literally tell you that flat doesn't mean level.
I got an idea, Just. How about we do a water level test?
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good idea. Who said that?
Wasn't my idea.
Jerry's trolling you, but well. He's trolling you well.
Well, do you not think you can do a level test? I mean, like Jesse Kozlowski, your top geodetic surveyor, says that the water level will drop from the horizontal. Now, do you not think a surveyor can make a horizontal?
Oh my god, dude, come on, man.
Do you not? Do you not think that?
Can you link this? Whatever you keep claiming, Jerry.
Well,
whatever his fucking name is.
Aussie Jesus, one of your top geologists, claims that the moon is made from the contents of the Grand Canyon, and it was floated up there with helium.
I don't even know who that is. Like who was that?
Problem. Well, I don't know.
So you don't know who Jesse Kozlowski is?
Oh, thanks for that.
Oh, wow.
Piece of the puzzle. I wasn't sure.
This is too fucking funny, dude. Can you link
I'm
this?
surprised. I'm surprised you've never heard
this Jim Bob claim you keep making, dude, because nobody knows who the
fuck
that is.
Are you saying Aussie Jesus perpetual motion machine, Just?
Yep, that's another top thing from one of your top, geologists there, Bev. So what do you think about your top geologist?
Who? I haven't got a top geologist. So are you taking the credit for all of this surveying knowledge that you have then?
You keep dodging the questions, man.
No, I'm just saying, like, I mean, you seem to have knowledge about surveying. Now, where do you get that from? Who's your knowledge giver about surveying?
I've looked at many surveying documents, and they all say it's a sphere.
Okay. Have you ever talked to any surveyors?
I don't need to. Every single one says it's a sphere. Like, literally all of them.
Have you
doesn't show
ever done any surveying?
No, I don't need to.
Okay, right. So that's you. Okay, so we can count you out then completely because you don't know anything about it. You just read a few books.
No, hold on. I don't believe every single surveyor on the Earth is in to trick me to think it's a globe. Okay.
Right, but you've not talked to any surveyors, so why would you say that every surveyor is tricking you when you've not talked to any?
What surveying documents have you analyzed to show you the contrary?
This is a very basic level that we're getting to here now, right? Do you think surveyors can establish a horizontal line over a mile? Okay, now, do you think that the water level curves...
Water level exists, yes.
Right, okay, so the horizontal is a straight line, and that your level curves away from that straight line.
Just so you know, so here's one of the places where I've got information.
So if you can establish a horizontal, then you can measure the drop.
I was in the middle of a sentence, Bev. 1 second.
You were just interrupted me from telling him how to measure the drop of the water level from the horizontal.
Okay, so you asked me for where I'm getting some of my knowledge from. So I've just popped in the chat a link to one of the from SEBA G Satellite Geodesy. Okay, so that's one of the places that I've looked at information.
Okay.
So I wanted to give you.
But you've not talked to any surveyors, have you? Or have you?
It doesn't matter. I can read.
Have you ever talked to any surveyors?
Have you talked to any surveyors?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, of course you have.
Which one? Okay, and what they say? What they tell you, Bev?
What do they tell me?
What have you talked about? I don't know where you're going.
Like, because we're only asking, the only question that's ever been in doubt here, right, from you lot is level horizontal? Now, I say, yes, it is.
Yes, it is, but it's not flat.
Well, there we go then.
Flat.
What?
It doesn't mean flat, though, and you're taking it out of context.
No, if level is horizontal... No, see, level is horizontal. If you think level is horizontal, then you're a flat earther, mate. Did you not know that?
You said you're not a flat earther.
No, I'm saying just going with fight the flat earth's description.
I did not know I was a flat earther.
Bev, you said you weren't a flat earther. Don't put you in that bucket. But you accept that level and horizontal are the same thing. So therefore, by your definition of what you just said, you are a flat earther. Are you not?
No, fight the flat earth says that if level is horizontal, then you're a flat earther. If you say that.
So do you believe that?
What? Well,
do you believe that?
Do I believe
do you believe that?
Do I believe that if I say that level is horizontal, then people say I'm a flat earther? Yeah. Yeah, I do believe that.
I asked what you believe.
Argument.
Yeah, I asked what you believe.
I can prove that level is horizontal.
And therefore, what's the conclusion from that?
That level is horizontal. Yeah, and I just go about my daily life getting called a child abuser.
Yeah, so the question I'm asking is, if level is horizontal, does that mean that the Earth is therefore flat?
It doesn't mean anything to me. It means reality is as it is. Because fight the flat Earth will call you a flat earther. Because you just said level is horizontal.
I don't think
that's a no-no. You're not meant to say that.
Level could be vertical too, you know.
No, it can't. Level is horizontal. Plumb is vertical.
You've got two plumb lines. Can they be level?
Is this
no, because
like
they're plumb.
Is this guy like the top guy from
you
muppet? By the way? Is he like one of the big guys?
I don't know. Where are you from? You may have a different definition of level than I do. What do you think level is, please?
Dude,
I'm specifically talking to the guy that just asked me if a vertical can be horizontal. That guy.
Surveyors tell you that flat does not mean level. Level doesn't mean flat. They literally tell you this.
Which surveyors are you talking about? Because I've never been told by anyone that I consider a surveyor that's ever told me.
I can literally promise you, any surveyor in here, a professional surveyor, would
in here.
Is a globe. Yeah, if they ever.
We've got professional surveyors in here, have we? Speak up, guys! Come on.
They all say it's a globe. Literally every single one of them. So what's your point?
Where are they?
The surveyors.
Speak up, guys! Don't be shy.
The surveyors would literally tell you straight up to your face that the Earth is a globe. So where's your point from all this?
Guys, the issue is level being horizontal, right? And horizontal isn't a curved line.
Flat Earth arguments, by the way.
All vertical.
Vertical? Who is that? He's jumping in again. Do you think vertical's level? Who said that?
You can have something vertical that's level.
Who did just say that? That's plumb, isn't it?
Well, that's still something that's level.
It's vertically level. Because you're measuring it off something else.
Right, so go on, give us your definition of what you think level is.
Well, level is nothing more than measuring a line off another point of reference.
Do you think?
Most levels can be used to find a vertical plane as well as a horizontal plane. There we go. Is that good enough?
Well, because the orientation of the bubble within the thing, right? It's just
So I've just gone onto a builder's website. And
yeah, all right. I mean, wow, right.
Levels can be used to find a vertical plane, also generally in exactly the same way as they find a horizontal plane. So you can use a level to find a vertical as well as a horizontal.
Yeah, because it's just the orientation of the bubble on it, right? Yeah.
So we're now agreeing that a level can. Yeah. So now we're now agreeing that you can find a vertical.
No, level is horizontal and plumb is vertical.
You have disagreed with that,
right? They're names of tools, right?
No, I'm using
that represent a vertical. Like a vertical in practical use will be defined by a plumb line.
No,
right?
this is
and a horizontal will be defined and used practically by the use of a level. So the level is horizontal and plumb is vertical.
To find the vertical plane as well as the horizontal.
Okay, right. So
that's from industry.
So we can find a horizontal plane, right, with a level.
Plane. And we can find a vertical
plane. So the
level
is horizontal, right?
No, the level can be vertical or horizontal.
What do you mean it can be vertical?
I've just been reading it.
Can you get a plumb to do the same? Can you get a?
Yeah, I can use a micrometer to do multiple things, and I can use a vernier.
My auto level can't do.
I can use a Chorobax.
I can't turn my auto level
to find level.
Can't find my auto level in to do a vertical, can I?
Have you ever used a Chorobax?
Oh, geez.
So hang on.
You know what a Chorobax is?
This is getting very semantical here with tools and things that you don't even really understand.
One particular tool can measure vertical lines.
No.
So
the question is do you think a surveyor can measure a horizontal?
Hang on.
I think we need a moderator here because somebody keeps talking too much and not allowing other people to speak.
Just calm down a little bit. The use of the word level is relative to whatever you measure it from. So you can have something that's level in a building context. You can have a level wall. So all of your studs, your vertical studs in a wall, are all level off each other. And this happens vertically, not horizontally. And you can measure all of those.
Are you working in the building trade? Are you?
So hang on.
Do you work in the building trade? Just please answer me.
I actually did.
Okay.
Yes, I did for 17 and a half years.
Okay. And did you build stuck walls?
I built stud walls. I built concrete walls. I built brick walls.
You know that's plumb, right?
Yes.
And you would know that's plumb.
Rip in the chat for Bev. Oh my god.
Then you would know that was plumb then. So quit saying level.
No, it's not necessarily.
Oh
plumb.
come on, dude.
So I
can call something magenta. I can call something
call it
red.
whatever the hell you want, and a lot of people if you want.
Yep.
But it's plumb, right?
Wait, hold on.
So I'm going to drop this picture one more time in the debate chat, and it's a level that's designed to measure vertically.
First, Bev keeps asking for professionals. Now we have an actual professional.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Dave. Good for your input.
So
thanks.
that level is designed. It is designed to measure a vertical level.
Measure a vertical. What are you talking about?
It shows a vertical line. It shows a vertical level.
Yeah, which we call plumb in the trade.
Plumb.
No, just because you call it plumb, right? That comes from the word plumb line, but that's not what the actual thing is it?
It's vertical.
You know why we call it plumb? You know why we call it plumb as professionals? You know why we call it plumb? Because that's what it is. Plumb.
You use you use the word plumb because it's just short for plumb line.
Where is Racky Life's flatty tag?
Why is it called a plumb line?
Why is it called a plumb line?
Because the piece of weight at the bottom is called a plumb bob, and the string that's attached to it is called a plumb line. That's where those words come from. Have a look at where the meanings of the words come from.
Yeah, they have meaning. Words have meaning. Why are they calling that?
That's correct. Now, a plumb line measures a vertical level line.
Correct. To horizontal.
Yeah, you need it. You need its perpendicular to find the level, don't you?
Is this really the
That's
peak of
Are
flat
you
Earth
talking about
arguments?
level in surveying, or are you talking about leveling? Because those are two different topics.
We don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about horizontal and plumb.
Have you just been reading something, foolish?
Yeah, I have.
He literally works in the trade and is telling you how it works.
I'm
but
in
you
the
guys are
trade too,
just
and
too
he's
damn-
wrong.
Yeah.
It's plumb, sir.
I've worked in the trade too. I've never heard anybody call that
Everybody's
level.
an expert.
I don't know.
Y'all called him an expert, and he's
Sounds like there's
something
like
that's not
50
true.
experts in there.
Wait, so Bev, what about this image right here?
Have we got the
What do you think of
professional surveyors in yet?
Yeah, they're coming. But
Anybody
anyway,
they're
know
what do you
coming.
think of this
horizontal is?
image? I mean, in every surveying, there's spherical excess. It shows you that the Earth.
No, that would
That's
assume a sphere,
curvature.
sir.
Wait, what?
That would assume a sphere. You want to talk about horizontal?
No, I'm just letting you know all of the surveyors have spherical
I
excess.
know,
into
Jem,
things.
that's what
What's
Jem
Three
said.
points.
That is what Jem said, right? You can have triangles of lines of sight with more than 180 degrees, right? That's what
No,
you're
you can't.
talking
Not
about.
on a flat surface. No, you wouldn't.
Well, what were you talking about? The spherical excess. Where's that coming? It's measured
The
triangles,
curvature,
right?
It's from the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah,
If you
where do you find it?
If you draw a triangle on a sphere, you're gonna the angles will not add up to 180.
That's
You're gonna
not
get
a
more.
triangle.
That's not a triangle. We're
general
specifically
shape of a triangle.
talking
You know what I
about
mean.
sighted triangles as used by surveyors over distances from the tops of mountains and stuff to do trigonometry. You know, trigonometric.
Why can't they get?
Yeah.
Why can't they get? If it's a flat surface, why can't they get 180 degrees?
They do get 180 degrees.
can.
Triangles
They do.
can have 180 degrees, don't they?
When you
Triangles
measure
do
a
have 180
triangle-
degrees.
Yeah.
Not might, but
There you go. Brilliant.
why? If it's a flat surface,
You should have been here the other week when Jem was saying they were more than 180. I mean, that was hilarious.
I don't care what these
And
other
who else?
numbers are.
Somebody else
Yeah.
just said that the other day as well.
Hippity hoppity, if you got a triangle with 1, 1, and 1, what does that add up to?
Triangle of what?
1, 1, and 1. The internal
Asking
angle.
about what are the internal angles of a triangle of
Internal
1, 1, and
angles,
1,
yeah.
and he
1,
malformed the
1, and 1.
question.
Yeah, don't help him. What's the answer there, Hippity?
A triangle of 1, 1, 1.
You've
You
got
see?
sides with a length of 1, 1, and 1. What are the
First, let him
internal
answer for
angles?
himself.
Well, you
Hold
gotta,
on,
you
we're
gotta form
talking
the
about
question correctly,
triangle.
Kimo. You're not even asking it correctly.
Yeah, I said to him, what are the
mean?
internal angles of a triangle?
No, you
1,
didn't
1,
say
and 1.
internal angles.
Yes, I did say internal.
No, you
You
didn't
did
say.
not.
I'm sorry, you
Should we
didn't.
go
What's the
back,
answer,
should we go back and listen to the recording, Chemo, and we can find out
You
whether you're
can
right
do,
or not?
yeah.
Why
So what's
not?
the
Oh,
answer,
they
Hippity
completely
do that.
ruined it, right? God,
Yeah,
you
what's the answer,
guys.
Hippity Hoppity?
You can't have a triangle of 1, 1, and 1.
No, you meant the seat, the
Nice.
length of the side, not the internal
Nice.
angles.
He
So
needs
the
to
internal
go
angles,
and
he's
He doesn't
asking
know
one of those.
birthday,
If the
doesn't know
length
trigonometry,
of the
doesn't know
sides
angles.
Oh, the
are 1,
length,
1, and 1.
the length
You
of the
have to
side?
ask the question correctly, Kimo. You're
Yeah,
asking in
why'd
such
you
a
say
confusing way.
internal
It's
angle?
ridiculous.
Like, what the fuck? He literally said internal angle to me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, he's getting confused because at first he said, "What's it add up to?" and he didn't say what it was. Then he was trying to specify internal angles, but then it sounded like he was talking about the sides. But anyway, he's saying your triangle has the sides of 1, 1, and 1. So now that has internal angles of something, and he wants to know what they are.
It's not difficult.
That would be
right?
an equilateral triangle, no? 60? It would be 60, 60,
That's
60,
right.
right?
Oh, you've just been sent the message, sent the
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, that's it. Because triangles have
wait, hold on,
180
you don't-
degrees
That's
internal
literally,
angles,
that's
right?
literally a middle school problem. You don't think I could do a middle school math problem? Dude,
I
shut the
bet you
fuck
got
up.
about 5 messages with the
The
answer.
reason they're asking that
Yeah.
is because they've been asked that before and they've all failed it. So they think it's
No, what do you mean? All
Yeah,
failed.
but Joe Berta didn't know it, right?
Chemo, do you want me to explain to you why
So
it
look,
is
hippity
an
hoppity, what we're
equilateral
trying to
triangle?
do, hippity, let's not derail it. We're
Because
trying
if
to
you have-
establish hippity
you have
hoppity.
Unequal angles, those sides won't be equal length. It's not
But
that
what
hard.
we're
Like,
trying
this
to
is middle school
establish,
math, dude. Come on. No one needs to message
Okay,
me.
yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
You
fair
probably got
Fair
that
enough.
question wrong, but it's not that hard.
Rumpus in it.
Fair enough. But you know the horizontal. How are we establishing horizontal in your world? How are we doing it?
They use, if I'm correct, they use plumb. This is above my credentials, but they usually use plumb lines.
Okay.
In your imagination, or
Walk me through it then, because you're saying that you know the Earth is not level, water's not level.
I'm
water's
just
not
letting
level.
you know. Every single geosurveyor tells
Just
you that
throwing
the
a
Earth
lot of
is a
these
sphere.
memes. Just
Every
throwing
single
salt.
no, there's no memes. There's no memes. Like every single surveyor will tell you that the Earth is a globe. Please find me one that doesn't, because I don't think they exist.
Yeah, but
You
everyone
can
will
prove
tell
me
you
wrong. That'd be great.
that's part of the programming. But what we're talking about is practical measurements. Yeah?
Who's in charge of this program?
Everyone's been programmed to think they're on a globe. Normal.
By who?
Everybody who hasn't been told it's a globe.
So by whom?
Oh, we just get told by television, by schools, by friends, family, anyone who is on this earth.
Polaris immediately falsifies a flat surface, dude. Okay, Polaris on its own falsifies flat Earth, and then you mix that in. Well, hold on. Let me finish. The path of the sun on any location on Earth, and on top of that, we can use sunspots to make sure the sun isn't doing some weird magic tricks. This immediately falsifies anything that you say, like anything about the flat Earth. The path of the sun on any location on the Earth.
No, that's fine.
Perfectly to its sphere.
That these angles.
Yeah, what do you mean that's fair? That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But what I'm asking, how do you explain then the Earth is absolutely horizontal with no curvature? How do you explain that? So I get it. All the things in the sky, it makes it look like the Earth is curving. It makes it look like it's bored. Get all that. But I'm talking about physical, actual measurements from geodetic surveyors, surveyors who build bridges. You know, they say the world is flat. We measure flat. Water is flat.
Hold on. Because what you guys love to do is just pull this bullshit out of your ass. Hold on. We'll see about that in a second.
So yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, you know, you look at the sun and you can look at some stars. You're like, I look up and it seems to me the Earth is curving. That's what it seems to me. But you know, like we have
every single observation when you look up, like that you like to call it, shows that we're on a sphere. I just hope you know that every single.
It looks like we're on a sphere.
Everything. Literally everything.
I get it. I get
it. Weird he does that, right?
I get it. Not difficult to.
At least you admit that. Thank you for admitting that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but there's a bit of a contradiction because the actual surface that we're standing on is horizontal. Nothing goes below the water level, right? So obviously, when a ship or a boat or the sun appears to go below the horizon, okay, we know it's not going below our feet. So how do you pair up the two? With the sky, makes it look like a board, but the actual Earth measures flat. How do you correlate the two there?
I've just put in a quote from a company that does geodesy and surveying, and part of what they do is surveying the whole world. And they don't think it's flat, Chemo, so I'm calling bullshit on the fact
they don't think level is horizontal.
That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on. Who is it? What's his name?
So I posted. It's in the chat. It's all there, mate.
Leslie and Thompson. Can you call them up for us like we did?
Yeah.
Call him up and ask him if the Earth is curving and how much.
You want to do that? Why don't you do it? If you've got a problem, I accept their data. If you've got a problem with their data, go and call them up and challenge them on it. Let me know how it goes.
We've done it already. We've got the guy, the surveyor, who said
you've done one surveyor. So one surveyor out of hundreds of thousands.
Yes, we recorded it. Oh, for goodness' sake!
Can you post link that? I call bullshit on that.
Goodness sakes, you're way behind on this information. Yeah, we've got an actual geodetic surveyor, a professional who builds bridges.
See what they say, shall we?
Builds bridges. He builds bridges over water. Now he said, "World is flat. The water is flat."
I don't think he said that, dude. Come on.
Well, let's take a look.
I'm waiting for a link, aren't we? So we don't know.
Here's the link right now. It's not very. It's only a 6-minute video. And
sorry, I'm not going to your channel to watch anything, so that will give you views. The only thing I do on your channel is point out that you think that tides are caused by winds and you deny the Holocaust.
That's so you can check out
any of your videos.
Okay, so you can check out the experts hippity hoppity, and we only listen to the experts. We don't listen to the guys online who say,
qualifications?
Well, he's a geodetic surveyor.
No. Have you validated his qualifications?
Validate his qualifications. Yeah, we called up.
How do you know he is what he says he is?
Because we called a company up. So unless we live in a conspiracy where the world is
being honest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Josh, you're right. Unless we live in a conspiracy where the world is lying to us.
You think the entire space endeavor that we've gone through as a species is all a conspiracy. So if they can create a conspiracy around that, then having a conspiracy to have a few well-placed surveyors that are going to give you that misinformation is going to be easy.
No, NASA don't lie to you. They show you that they go up, they come down. They cut the cameras, they hide the shape of the Earth.
Did you say something about some well-placed surveyors with giving out misinformation?
Oh well, if they can fake the entire NASA thing, what else can they fake? You know, so how can he trust whatever anybody says?
It's an interesting proposal you put forward there.
Cherry pick whatever fits their narrative.
But how many do you reckon? 2 or 3?
What I'm doing is I'm showing the absurdity of the argument, Bev. I don't think this. What I'm doing is I'm using sarcasm and ridicule to show how stupid the argument that's being put forward is. That's all I'm doing. If you're taking me seriously, please don't. On that point.
Well, no, it's just the concept of the idea of somebody putting a few misinformation surveyor people in somewhere just to throw out a load of misinformation. You know, I like the idea that you're thinking that.
Chemo is one of those people, and I know that for a fact.
He's not. He's never claimed to be a surveyor, is he?
No, he's one of those people throwing out misinformation, and I know that.
I thought you were talking about surveyors, though. In particular,
the rocket launches are edited. There's a straight footage from the Mars Odyssey mission. That's straight footage, no edit, no fisheye lens, nothing.
Oh no.
Okay, are you throwing up that as an example of misinformation?
No, I'm bringing up that there's plenty of evidence for curvature and spherical Earth. You guys just purposely ignore everything and cherry pick whatever fits your bullshit.
But what we're proposing here is quite simple, right? If a surveyor can make a horizontal line and level isn't horizontal, then we can measure the drop
the same YouTube video
of the curvature away from the horizontal, because that's what surveyors do.
And we do measure it, and we can use an Alberuni to do it, so it's job done.
That's what an auto level does.
Brev, as your prophet QE would tell you, this is not data.
Who are you talking about?
This is a YouTube video.
I don't know QE.
You don't know
prophet.
Well, QE doesn't take on. I don't listen to anything QE does.
I think you
do. You think I do? Well, I'm telling you, I don't. So I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, the point is that if level is horizontal, then well, no big deal. It's not.
You keep taking it out of context.
So then a surveyor could measure the distance a drop from the horizontal, because that's what they do with the rod, the measuring rod.
Well, wait a minute. If level is horizontal, then what?
Pardon?
If level is horizontal, then what?
Then I've shown you that level is horizontal, right? And you agree, and that's all well and good, right? But if you say that, be prepared for the backlash that you'll get.
That is level. What of it?
Pardon?
Locally, something that's level could be horizontal as well.
So you're accepting that level is horizontal then? Locally? Yeah. Okay, well then you, according to Fight the Flat Earth, are a local flat earther. How local of a flat earth do you live on? If you think level is horizontal locally.
I must expose the problem here. So when you work in engineering, which is something I do, you work to tolerance levels. Yeah. And if something is such a small variation and it doesn't affect my tolerance, or it's within my tolerance level, I don't give a fuck about it. So when we're talking about a curvature of 1 degree over 69 miles, it's pretty fucking small. In all intents and purposes, when I'm building a house of, say, 15 meters by 15 meters by 15 meters high.
Well, fair enough. Nice I understand.
There's the square root of fuck all effect on it.
Okay, but over a mile, are you saying that you don't think a surveyor could do it?
72. That's 1/70th of a degree.
Yeah, but they measure vertical distance from the horizontal. That's what surveyors do.
So what's
right?
the
So
accuracy?
that's how much drop?
Topic. Wait 1 second. I want to ask.
As Jesse Kozlowski said, there is a drop from the horizontal. No, you're just obfuscating because I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to answer what you've just asked. You've just changing the question to shut me up.
No, I'm not.
To stop me from answering the question that you've just asked.
Let them sort it out. They can sort it out.
They did one at a time.
They're adult. They can sort it out.
You go first, mate. You go first,
It
mate.
didn't mean moderating. They've been doing fine all morning. Let them.
One at a time. We need to do it one at a time.
No, we need moderation. We need moderating. We need moderating, Mr. Scott. You see, there's no point. Just let them sort it out.
Just let them go. Let them go.
Exactly.
After you, sir.
Okay, so the surveyor looks through an auto level and establishes a horizontal. Now, at the end, where there's a guy with his measuring rod, right, the measurement that they take is a distance from that horizontal line of sight. Right? Now, if you can get a surveyor to establish that horizontal over a mile, right, and then as claimed by Jesse Kozlowski and most of you guys, the water level drops from the horizontal. Now that can be measured if you think it's possible for a surveyor to establish a horizontal over a mile.
I'd just make a really simple observation. So what I would do is I'd see if there's a relationship between the angle of observation between me and the horizon as I gain elevation, and if that angle changes, that very, very distinctly says that I'm not on a flat Earth. Okay. Because that observation alone would say, oh gosh, we've got something dipping away. Now that could be local, and I agree, that could be a local effect that I'm seeing. So if I repeat that multiple times in multiple places, I then would have very good confidence. To me, I disregard all of that fucking shit because it's pointless, because we've got loads of images from space showing the shape of the Earth, and I think that is empirical observation, unless it can be demonstrated that the whole endeavour in space is fake.
Okay, now can you answer now, do you think it's possible for a professional surveyor to establish a horizontal over a mile?
The question I wanted to ask, because this is now a lack of my knowledge, so I'm going to ask for your help here.
I did just yours was like a yes or a no, like yes I can, or a no I don't think it's possible.
Well, no, I don't know, so I'm in the third camp, because there are always three camps. Yeah, there's I know, I don't, yes, no, I don't know. There's always those three. It's a trichotomy.
Okay. So you don't know because you've not looked into it, or
which is why I want to ask my question. So the question I'm asking is a C of that level to be able to measure 1 second of arc. Is it that accurate?
It's an auto level that establishes a horizontal. Now it has been calibrated to be establish a horizontal line of sight. Yeah. What's the calibration like?
What's the accuracy?
Well, it's got a certificate. It's got a sticker on the side of it to say it's been calibrated.
Cool. And it will give you a tolerance bar for it, won't it?
Well,
what's the tolerance bar for it?
It's over a 1 kilometre double run. It's a 1 millimetre of error.
1 millimetre of error. And how does that?
That's an error because
have you converted that into seconds of arc?
1 kilometre over a 1 kilometre double run. 1 millimetre within 1 millimetre of error.
I'm asking, have you done that over a kilometre?
Yeah, it's horizontal, right?
Which is fine. What I'm asking is,
you're
saying it's a 1 millimetre tolerance. What is that in
1 millimetre error?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's perfect, really. I mean, that's what that means. Yeah. Yeah, because errors equal out over the way, and you're only measuring to a tolerance of 1 millimetre. I mean, nobody's trying to estimate half a millimetre, are they? Because so you just measure to the millimetre, and then if your error is 1 millimetre, that's because that's what you.
Do you understand why I'm asking this question?
Well, yeah, mainly because you don't seem to understand what a horizontal level is. And how you achieve such a
so
finite error margin over a 1 kilometre double run?
Have you ever used a chorobat?
I've not got a clue. What's that? Go on.
Yeah, so a chorobat is another form of level.
Is it like an auto level or a theodolite or what?
It's something that the Romans used to use. And it's something I've actually played with.
Right, yeah, well, things have progressed a bit since then, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there is a water level, right? I mean, that's what my test is.
You want to talk about accuracy of building and the Romans?
Yeah.
How good they were at being accurate?
Brilliant. So you think the water level's more accurate then?
No. What I'm saying is they used the chorobat. It was one of the things that they used when they were building aqueducts to ensure that the incline was consistent and didn't increase over 4 degrees and wasn't.
The incline is the incline of the water within the aqueduct. Are you talking about?
No, the aqueduct itself.
Oh right, because the water level within the aqueduct would have been level and horizontal, right?
Water naturally isn't level. You know,
it isn't level.
Will have ripples on it. It will have effects. When we look at the sea,
but the water level, the tool that establishes a horizontal plane of reference.
Where I'm going, because you keep busting in, and I'm trying not to do it to you. Really hard. So I appreciate it. So I was saying, when we look at water is very rarely level. Certainly not to an accurate of 1 millimeter. That's for certain. I'll certainly grant that. Because there are other factors and forces acting upon it, like the tides, like the wind, whatever else is out there, thermal, etc. So we very rarely find, water being level. The other problem that I've got as well with this is when I look at a horizon is a circle around me. We'd all agree on that, yeah?
Like you can turn around through 360 degrees, yeah.
Well, I'd like to go back.
Brilliant. But yeah,
that's not correct. Water is level.
Yeah, it's always level, right? Yeah.
Honestly, no, it's not.
But water can get affected by the forces.
I look at the sea. Yeah, so I look at the sea.
You're talking about the sea.
Yeah.
You're talking about the sea. We're not talking about the sea. We're talking about
so water in a glass is that level?
We're talking about water level.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about water in a glass.
Have you ever seen the tool, mate? Water level.
Yeah, I've seen a water level.
Do you know what a water level is?
Yes, I do know what a water level is.
What does it measure?
It measures basically the
not basically. What does it measure?
You're looking at the relationships between two heights of water in a column.
Which is what?
Which are linked together.
Which is what?
Which should equalize out because of pressure.
To be what?
To be level.
Thank you. You know why it's used?
Why it's used?
Yeah. Do you know why water? Do you know why water is used?
Because it's a nice, easy liquid that we have lots of.
Not nice.
I could use mercury to do it. I could use
liquid.
Sulfuric acid to do it.
You know why liquid is used? You know why
because it's a fluid.
Because it's the most accurate way.
At a local level, at a local scale, over kilometers, over tens of hundreds of kilometers, it won't be level. Nope.
Any distance. And matter of fact, the greater the distance, the more accurate it
citation
gets.
Needed. Anyway.
Water is my citation.
Little. Okay, so over 100 kilometers, you'll have about a 200 meter dip.
You know when you get off a measurement? When you involve man and their equipment that they developed. You know why water is the most accurate?
Oh my god.
Because it's not made by man.
So when we use nature, except when we use the stars and nature to find that it's spherical, but it's not convenient for you, right? Yeah, I get it.
Water.
So I would like you to use water to measure 1/1000th of an inch.
You can do whatever you want with water.
No, you can't.
You know why you
use
can't?
water. No, the guy made a great
man is
example. Use
involved.
water to measure 1/1000th of an inch. Go ahead. Do it. Please try.
Can't do that. But water can.
No, it can't.
Yes.
Man can measure 1/1000th of an inch. Water can't.
Man can develop a tool that tells him he's measuring that, but guess what?
No, it's not that he's telling. Dude, you know how much of our equipment and whatnot needs that level of precision? What do you mean it tells us? It does.
You know what all that equipment is based on? You know what all that equipment is based
on reality? On reality?
Reality that water is level.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
just
got
skip
it.
my points. You're retarded.
No, you got it. You know what?
So
When
no,
you
no,
set up,
your point was
I'll
water
make
will tell
another
us.
point about your equipment.
Please.
You know when you set up a transit? Have you ever set up a transit?
What are you? In what context?
A transit. Do you know what a transit is?
In what context? A transit of a
In
moon,
what
transit of a fucking.
context? Transit when you're using a level, a theodolite. Do you know what it is? You know. Okay, I assume you don't. You know when you set it up, you know what you use to get it level? Liquid. You know why?
Let's have a look at other surveying companies.
Because it's the most accurate.
At a local level, man, you need to go you need to look at very long distances to see water curve. I'm sorry that the laws of nature are inconvenient to you and using your brain for simple logic.
Has been
No,
distorted.
listen,
but
listen,
water
dude.
is level over any
You need
distance
to look
when
at.
undisturbed.
Listen, I'm sorry, the laws of nature are
I don't
inconvenient for
need to
your
do
fucking
anything.
simple middle school brain.
Don't put
Literally,
it on me and add
no,
on
dude,
me.
you're too silly to use your brain. I'm sorry that the laws of nature make it hard for people like you to do some basic logic.
And you're the
No,
one
it's okay.
saying
It's not your fault.
water bends.
It's not your fault, dude. Or
Water
whatever.
curves.
Not everyone can be smart. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that the laws of
you don't have
nature
to
are
put it on me.
inconvenient for you to use your
We're
brain
talking
for 2
about
seconds
you
to see how
saying
stupid what
water
you're saying.
bends. You got it now. You can add how many all you
No,
want.
I hope you can use your brain for 2 seconds. Like you need to go look at
Use my
kilometers to
brain?
see water curve. Yeah, I'm sorry that the laws of
Water
nature are inconvenient for
level.
your brain. Your brain can't handle it.
sure
I
about
get
that,
it. It's
sir?
okay.
You're only here to abuse, right? Is that right,
I'm here to
Happy?
abuse. You don't listen, dude. I'm telling you.
You went straight
You're not going to see water curve in your fucking water glass.
You went
Your little
straight to
glass.
yeah. You know why
You're
you're
not going to see water curve in your bathtub. Well, you are, but you can't. Your eye can't measure that.
One at a time, guys.
You can't
One at a
actually
time.
measure.
So one at a time when he ad homs me and attacks me, or one
Well,
at a
just
time
both of
when
you guys. He's over talking you. He's over talking you, and vice versa. But you guys just give each other some room. As well.
You think? Yeah. You think?
Okay, you finish.
Yeah, I
you
think
finish.
so.
Life. Go ahead, life. Finish it, and I'll make my point after.
Yeah, I'm finished. You can use
Are
a
you
water
finished?
level.
Okay, can I talk now?
So you immediately interrupted me.
You said you're finished.
Two words.
Just hurry up. Finish. Finish your point.
You're still interrupting me. So are you done?
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your point.
Are you sure?
Yeah, dude, hurry up.
You don't seem too sure.
Yeah, okay, this guy, I don't know.
Hey,
Dude, this guy's
Racky,
fucking
just
retarded.
fucking get on with it or don't. This is just really annoying.
Yeah, I agree. It's annoying when he attacks me.
No, I
instead of
agree. That
saying
was wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that, with your point
So
on that.
you don't mind if I take a minute to abuse him, do you?
Well,
ideally, we'd rise above it and reduce the abuse.
Yeah.
Ideally, honestly.
Two wrongs don't make a right, do they, Racky?
Well, he keeps doing it, right?
This guy's IQ is actually so low. I feel bad for him.
Guys like me. Yeah, another personal.
You are falling into the ad hom here rather than just insulting him.
I'm not falling into
Can I
anything.
make my
He
point?
No, I'm
doesn't know
talking
what
to him, not you, Rakia.
Okay, thank you. He doesn't know what a transit is, and he's telling me
transit of a moon. You're transmitting a signal. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
We're talking about auto levels. We're talking about theodolites and water levels, and you don't know what a transit is. How are you telling me anything?
Can you tell me what trigonometric leveling is?
Nope, never done it.
Can you tell me Avogadro's number?
Nope.
Can you tell me? Yeah, can you tell me the molar mass of fucking uranium? No, you probably can't.
Nope.
No, I can do that.
Anyway, okay, I'm gonna give my point because
But I wasn't speaking on any of that. I wasn't telling someone who does.
Can you mute him for like a
he's
minute,
wrong.
dude? Holy shit! It doesn't have a point. He won't shut the fuck up. Just shut up for a second, dude.
Well, maybe Hippity, if you stop insulting him, he won't feel the need to respond to your insult. Okay.
Smart man. Now
I'll be a little nicer. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's
I
certain
like
laws.
To say to my kids, be a fucking adult.
Yeah, true. There's certain laws of nature that are just the way they are, and the curvature of water is one of them. See, we have the logarithmic scale here, and about a 10 centimeter width of water, about like a cup, there's going to be that many zeros, 0.2 of curvature. You got to get to very large scales to visually see with your own eyes the curvature of water.
What's the deflection from horizontal over a mile?
Oh, I'm not on my point.
Get your calculator out.
Dude.
We've got to test to measure it.
Okay, dude, shut the fuck up for a second. So you gotta go to very large scales to see the curvature of water with your eyes.
Okay.
Evolutionarily, our brains were not adapted to do any of this. We only saw water at local levels. We never got the chance to go up really high and see water at 100 kilometers and see the curvature and whatnot. So it is through common sense. Yes, it will look like it is level, but our common sense gets a lot of things wrong. It gets some distances wrong, gets some shapes wrong. We confirmation like okay, so
fair enough.
So
So
we
you
have
mentioned
to,
laws of nature of bending water. Can you post that for me? That law
I
of nature?
posted a logarithmic scale, and I can cite additional sources for you.
So is that the law of nature?
Yeah, this is one of the unfortunate. Not all.
And
It's
how would we measure
unfortunately
that?
one of the water's going to curve at large. You can visually see it at large.
I'm fine with what
scales.
you said. I'm fine with what you said, sir. Hang on. I'm fine with what you said, sir. Now, can you back it up?
I gave you.
Can you shut up? When does water start to curve at what distance?
Well, I gave you
In
the
your law of
logarithmic
nature.
scale. I gave you the logarithmic scale right here, and I can post additional citations to back it up.
It's not what I asked for. I
What are you
asked for
fucking
a
asking for?
distance. If you'll shut up, I'll tell you. At what distance does water start to curve away from you?
It's always technically curving. It's always curving due to the effects
At
of
what
gravity.
distance?
At every distance.
And how do we measure that?
Here, let me get the citation for that.
No, not citation. Explain to us how you measure that.
Yeah, let me get the citation for that.
No, not citation. Explain it. Drop from horizontal would be a clue.
Isn't that just a genetic sort of fallacy you're doing there? I mean, I do an awful lot of stuff. You know, I work in IT. That's what I do for a living, and I have to draw on a lot of stuff from different manufacturers, different methodology standards. We have what's called RFCs, which explain how things should operate, and then I can use that as my benchmark to then make sure that things are operating in a correct manner.
Okay. So he's talking about visually not being able to see water bending. I'm talking about measuring it. You see the difference in that?
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, I would just go back to the Alberuni experiment.
Yeah.
That's the simplest
And he's
mechanism.
talking about how our minds can't comprehend, right? I'm talking about how we can use our mind and our tools to measure geometric.
Exactly. And that's what the Alberuni experiment does. That's very clear.
Experiment.
Alberuni is not accurate, right?
Or observation. You know, so that.
Not an experiment then.
But even if it's let's say it's when you say it's not accurate, let's give it a plus or minus 10%.
You can do that all day long. I don't want to do that. I don't know why you're moving
plus or minus
10%.
All observations, all measurements have a tolerance.
Alberuni used the geometric horizon, correct? Something
no,
he's never
he used
seen.
the apparent
Yes,
horizon,
he did.
which is fine.
Then you don't know what the Alberuni means.
Wait, 1 second. Let me just finish my point, Rakia. So yes, he used the horizon that we see, which is going through atmosphere, and atmosphere has refraction. For something to be refracted, it must exist. So now we want to say, what is the upper limit of error that would be introduced by refraction? That would be the first question I would ask Rakia. Do you know the answer to that?
He measured the geometric horizon.
No, he didn't, because he couldn't see it.
Then you need to go back and look.
You can't see the geometric horizon. There's always refractive effects in the atmosphere.
Because it doesn't exist, sir.
Well, it has the geometric. If we're saying there is an apparent horizon and it's refraction, then it's refracting from something physical, isn't it? Because otherwise you wouldn't get the refraction of the object, of the image that you get. If I see a lighthouse that's a mirage, that lighthouse exists, doesn't it?
That's not correct, sir.
So the lighthouse doesn't exist.
No, your statement before that.
Yeah. So if there's something being refracted,
your statement before that is not correct. So why move on?
So if there's a horizon, an apparent horizon, there must be an actual horizon, yeah?
The horizon is the horizon.
Okay, but
it's always refracted.
Yeah, it's always refracted. So we both agree that there is a horizon and it's being refracted. Therefore, the horizon must be something.
Yeah,
it's the limit. It's the limit of it's the limit of our vision.
We have a very clear definition. It's where the sky and the ground appear to meet. You know why they put that word "appear" in there?
Yeah, because it's apparent.
Because it doesn't meet. It's
so then that goes back. Yeah, so that goes back.
It's not
no.
geometric.
It's apparent because you can only
because
refract.
it's not geometric.
You can only refract something. You can only refract something. You can only have something refracted into your eyes. An image refracted into your eyes with something that exists.
Because of light.
Yeah. If I see a lighthouse in the distance and it's in its apparent position, I only see that lighthouse because that lighthouse exists. Do we agree on that?
Geometry.
No, I'm just asking that question. Do we both agree that if I see a refracted lighthouse in its apparent position, I can conclude that lighthouse exists?
I guess. I mean, I don't even know why you're going there.
Because
have we seen a lighthouse? Have we seen the light?
Have you seen a horizon?
Then we know it's physical. Have we seen the geometric horizon ever?
Well, it doesn't matter. I can go.
It doesn't matter now.
Wait, no. Let me finish my point, and then you'll understand why it doesn't matter.
I think you're done.
This is really like the best arguments the flat Earth have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how far I am from the lighthouse. There's always going to be refraction in the
pretty embarrassing.
As I get closer to it, because I can approach the lighthouse and get closer to it, there is less and less refraction as I get closer.
You can touch it.
I go back to my original question.
You can measure it as well. You could go there and measure it.
Measure the dome? Can you measure the dome? Can you touch the dome?
I go back to my original question, which is how much error would refraction bring into our calculations? Because then that will give me the
that out easily, I'm sure, because you're smart. But you're also smart enough to know that lighthouse, you can go to it and touch it. You know why? Because it's physical. You know why you can't touch the geometric horizon?
Because it's a relationship between my elevation and my
That's a false equivalence, dude, and you know it is.
It's his story.
You falsely equivalent those two things, and they don't make sense.
He's using a lighthouse to demonstrate something about.
No, he's giving you an example. You don't want to see. You don't want to. You just keep thinking too much in black and white. You just stop thinking in black and white so much.
So maybe
and try to
my
understand
mind's
what
not
some of the other person.
Clearly, that a lighthouse is physical and something you can't touch.
Again, you're taking what I'm taking out of context. Like you're taking what I'm saying out of context.
Why are you even talking right now? Me and that guy were talking.
Just stop taking his stuff out of context, dude. Like you're not making any progress.
Why are you telling me what to do? I'm not.
Stop thinking in black and white.
Hoppy's only here to abuse people, right?
Just try to use your brain for a few seconds.
Use my brain. So now you're going
it's
back
hurting
to
my head listening to you. Purpose. I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or this is how you are. Just try to understand what the other person's saying.
Another personal.
That's Tom.
How I am. You want to talk about the lighthouse?
I think he's trying to actually be conciliatory here. I don't think he's actually attacking you. I would have chosen different words.
I think he doesn't have an argument. So he's talking about me, what I need to do. That's what I think.
So I think for me that would be the interesting question, because if we know, let's say that the refraction causes a 2% change in position or whatever it's going to be, so we can start to factor that into the calculations, which will give us our plus or minus
on that physical object of the lighthouse, correct? That we can touch and go to.
Being called. Sorry, guys.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, on top of this, you're ignoring a million other observations that show that there's a sphere. At the end of the day,
physical objects.
Yeah, those are physical objects in the sky that are fixed in fixed positions.
So, shape of a sphere, we can measure drop from horizontal, correct?
Yeah, we can.
Do it.
Brilliant.
There's plenty of surveyors. There's plenty of surveyors that do it all the time. There's plenty of surveyors that do it all the time.
You can't explain it. You just refer to somebody else.
Yeah, I refer to experts and professionals whose job it is to do this.
Bring one. Is there one here?
There's plenty that talk to you people all the time, but you purposely. There's plenty that do it all the time. Who said there needs to be one right now? Why does this is what I'm talking about, dude? Your brain. I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or just this is how your brain is. Stop. Why is your brain like this?
So personal.
It's not. Look at the stupid questions you keep fucking asking me.
You want to talk
about my brain? What do you mean, bring one right
now?
here? I'm telling you, in general, you guys talk to plenty of experts. They explain to you why you're wrong, and you just ignore them.
Experts.
Yeah. Then you're fucking asking me, do you have one right now? Like, why are you asking me these stupid fucking questions, dude?
Like the expert builder who said studs were level and not plump. You mean maybe someone who's used auto levels all their life and measured horizontal all their life? You mean like Bev and me?
How about you level Polaris and your
so
latitude?
you're an expert on that?
I mean, how about you? You don't even need to be an expert to do this. Go find.
Oh,
you can
see,
figure
now
out
you
your
don't
latitude.
need to be an expert.
You can figure out your latitude by seeing how many
How's my
degrees
brain
Polaris is
working
up in the
now?
sky.
How's my brain working now?
Not too good, dude. Like you would genuinely have a low IQ. I just hope you understand that.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm like that's one of the things I'm most sure of. You have a very low IQ.
You're positive. You've deducted
Yeah.
that over the
Wow.
I've just talking to you for 10 minutes.
We know you came in here to abuse people, Hoppy, but this is a bit...
Another personal attack.
Yeah.
Please explain to me, because the stars are in fixed positions, and different people in different latitudes will confirm that to you. Please explain to me. Please explain to me how Polaris...
You know that latitude and longitude are two-dimensional coordinate system, right?
Which means a plane.
That you can still apply on a three-dimensional shape.
Two-dimensional.
You can still apply to a three-dimensional shape.
They're two-dimensional, right?
Oh my god! Again, your people's ignorance is just absurd. You
Do
can
you know,
still use it on a three-dimensional.
well, actually, do you know that a sphere is a non-developable surface?
What?
What? Well, you can't. What a non-developable surface is something you can't express on a plane without distortion.
Still use longitude and latitude.
Right. So, how do you make a two-dimensional coordinate system express itself around a three-dimensional shape that is a non-developable surface?
You can still use longitude and latitude on a three-dimensional shape.
But it's a two-dimensional coordinate system. We've got I've been told it for ages. I mean, the main surveyor on Twitter. I mean, he's one of your surveyors, right? Is he?
Stop citing people. I don't care what
the main surveyor, though. I mean, he's no, it's not. These are your surveyors.
Bullshit.
They're vocal ones.
Bullshit.
He's your expert.
Yeah.
I keep cherry picking bullshit. Anyway, listen.
How's your mind working?
Made me forget what I'm gonna fucking tell you.
Piece of shit.
The reason it's on a two-dimensional it's a two-dimensional grid system is because we're not dealing with the third dimension. We're not dealing with the inside of the fucking Earth.
It's on the plane, right? That's why.
We're just dealing with the surface. No, because we're dealing with the surface.
It's a two-dimensional flat surface.
Yes, the surface.
Yeah, it fits really well.
Hey, listen. Yeah, that's why you don't have a map and never will. Anyway.
All maps are flat, mate, with
scale.
Right, and the scale's accurate all the way across the map.
If you use your brain, if you just shut the fuck up for 5 seconds and
means it must have come from a developable surface, right? Not a non-developable surface.
Try to listen for 5 seconds and use your brain while you do it. We're not dealing with the third dimension. We're not dealing with the inside of the Earth. That's why we can use longitude and latitude, because we're just dealing with the surface. We're not dealing with the inside of the Earth.
Two-dimensional surface of a sphere, right?
How low is your IQ? Oh my god. Everything I see just goes through your fucking head. It just goes over you.
Well, we're waiting for you to explain how a two-dimensional surface
simpler for you. That's what I'm telling you.
Can be expressed on a non-developable surface.
Okay, let me try to... Okay, imagine the sphere.
Tell us
a cake.
which geometry are you using that enables you to do this?
Simpler for you. Are you gonna listen? Can you try? Can you try to actually listen to what I'm saying, please?
Yeah, you said imagine.
Okay, so imagine. Okay, imagine this.
Imagine.
Sphere.
Yeah, I'm not very good at imagination.
It's a cake.
Give us some geometry or something, or drawings.
We're not dealing with the inside of the cake. We're not dealing with the inside. We're just dealing with the outside. That's why you can use the two-dimensional.
It's a non-developable surface, though. The surface of a sphere.
That's irrelevant.
What do you mean it's irrelevant? It's Gaussian curvature, right? This is the mathematics that your shit's based on.
Your implication is that basketballs don't exist because spheres can't be developed in the planes. I mean, is that what your implication is of a non-developable surface?
Who's that?
Because I just posed the definition.
No name. You could be a little bit triggered there, right?
No, you keep blasting that non-developable surface over and over again. And what is your implication of it? What are you implying?
How can you be trusted?
Because you can't unroll a ball into a flat plane. Hey, Ricky, I'm not done talking, buddy.
How can you be trusted?
How can you be trusted? So what?
The
Dude, are
last
these
time
guys?
we let
I swear they're like,
the
is
last
this really
time
the
we let
peak
you
of
read a
flat Earth now?
definition, you didn't read the
This
whole
is
thing.
the best.
This is the
the
peak of
best.
flat Earth.
Read
right
the
here.
bit
Holy
at the
moly.
end of the definition that you've just
You-
put there,
if
dude.
you read
Everybody
them-
read it, please.
So what? Your definition? Okay, yeah, sure. Non-developable surfaces, variously referred to as having double curvature, doubly curved, compound curvature, non-zero Gaussian curvature, etc. Some of the most often used non-developable surfaces are spheres. Are not developable surfaces under any metric as they cannot be unrolled onto a plane. So what? We don't live on a plane.
All maps are
According to
flat,
you,
aren't they?
According to their projections, and they're not accurate because of that. Or do you think
They are
that
accurate,
Greenland
though. They're
and-
to scale. They have the same
They're not.
scale all across
Okay.
the map.
Is
What are you
Greenland
talking
the same
about?
size as Australia? Which one is bigger, Greenland or Australia?
Wait,
Because according to the map, Greenland is freaking
which map are
ginormous.
you talking about, dude?
Any Mercator projection map?
Right, well, let's go orienteering, like where it's crucial. them flat maps.
So that's your answer to what does it matter that a sphere
All
has
all
non-developable
maps
surface?
are flat and they are to scale. Is there a scale on your Mercator projection map?
What is your scale?
Is there a scale on your
Yes,
Mercator?
there are scales on
Right,
the
okay,
paper.
what
Yes,
scale
there are
is the
scales.
your one
There are
at, please?
legends, and there are legends, and there are keys too. On some maps, there even used to be here. There be dragons. That doesn't make them true.
1 to 50,000 usually for all of the UK maps, but we're very only a very small place, right?
But regardless, I mean, what is the
I don't know
point
what's your
of saying-
scale.
What is your point of the statement that a sphere has a non-developable surface?
It means that you can't express it on a plane without distortion.
Sure, and there are distortions on all maps.
No,
because of that.
Matt, I've just told
Yes.
you. The map of the UK that I've got here in front of me, I don't know what scale that's to. But that's accurate
So
all the way
your claim
across
is that there is
the
no
map. There is
distortion
no
on
distortion
any map.
in any place on that map. It is to scale.
So
The
you're
scale is
you're
accurate
specifically focused
from
on
one
the
corner
UK
to the other
and
corner
not
to the other corner, and in the middle as well. All the same scale.
So is your claim that the UK map is the map of the Earth?
What?
Is your claim that the UK map is the map?
Wait,
of the
why
Earth?
do you
The
keep
map-
talking about the Earth? I mean, what's wrong with you? We're talking about a
the Earth is the
non-developable
planet that we
surface,
live on.
right? And I'm showing you that all maps are flat. They're to scale. There
And
is
I'm telling
no
you that all
distortion.
maps are distorted.
Pardon?
You show me a side tape, and I'm telling you that all maps have distortions because of that.
Well, you sort of say, right, because the maps are flat, should we do it like a modus tollens type thing, right? That they can't have come from a non-developable surface.
No. If
Oh,
there
no.
was no distortion. Yeah, because you're okay. So let's take that syllogism. Okay, all maps that we have are projections of a globe. Therefore, all maps have distortion. Since all maps have distortion, we can infer that they are taken from a globe.
But
that's also not true.
if maps are
because it
have
can
a
be taken-
scale,
it can be taken
where
from a
is it
globe.
distorted? Where's the bit where
Notice
it's
colors
distorted?
Can't be used. Notice where are they distorted? Sure, I'll show you. This is what the Earth should look like.
Has anyone got like
Let's look at-
a map of the US or something that's actually got a scale marker on the bottom of it?
I'm talking about a map of the Earth, man, not just one place on the Earth. If you look at the entire map of the Earth, there are
Is that to
distortions.
scale?
So, what does that matter? I'm talking about distortions, and you keep going, is that to scale?
Well, yeah, I'm
Do you
talking about.
understand
We're
the
talking
difference
about
between
distortions as
distortion
well.
and scale?
Have you
But
got
do you
a
understand
map
the
that
difference
is to
between
scale
distortion and scale?
that we
Do
can
you
have a look at
understand
the
difference
distortion
between
on it?
Distortion and scale. I'm going to keep asking this question because you keep bringing it up. What do you understand the difference between distortion and scale?
Well, I understand that the scale is a ratio.
Right. Well, what's the ratio of distortion on a map?
There's just a ratio of scale, isn't there? Because that's what it is. It's normally 1 to something.
Why do you keep dodging my assertion?
Because like you just measure the scale.
With your scale.
Because that's what scale is.
Distortion is scale.
No, you're talking about distortion. I'm just talking about scale.
Talking about distortion.
But there's no distortion on a scale map. Where does it show the distortion bit on a scale map, please?
Sure, hold on 1 second. Distorted.
Have you got the world map with a scale on the bottom of it? Anywhere?
Okay. All projections of a sphere on a plane necessarily distort the surface in some way and to some extent.
Okay.
Every distinct map projection distorts in a distinct way by definition. The study of map projections is the characterization of those distortions. There is no limit to the number of possible map projections. So there you go.
But what about scale maps then? Does it say that they aren't projections?
I never once brought up scale. I don't
like,
give a
because
shit
they've
about scale.
Surveyors were like, you know how they do it, right? Surveyors measure the points and the distance, and they measure triangles.
Move on to a different point because it somehow disturbs you. I mean, what is the problem here?
Are you scared to hear me talk?
Why are you dodging?
I'm not. I'm going to answer you now, right?
Go ahead.
The maps that we use in reality are made by surveyors that measure distances and triangulate points, and they do all of that, right? And then they transpose that onto paper, right? To show you a map, and then you can, because they've measured these points, you can make that to scale. And you can continue that scale on through all maps.
And you're going to end up with distortion. Because you're trying to take a spherical object and map it.
They are to scale, so you can measure the scale on the map. Right? There are no distortions. Because they are to scale. And the scale is the same all the way across the map.
So I just gave you a citation for all maps are distorted. Give me a citation that shows that all maps are not distorted.
Well, please. See, the UK go with...
I came through with mine.
The UK have a grid reference system. And most of the maps are individual places or are individual bits. And they're at scale 1 to 50,000. And they all piece together like a jigsaw. Right? So you can have a series of these maps and they all fit together through a grid system, square grid system. Now, they're all to scale. They're all to the same scale. And there is no distortion across the entirety of the map. Because it is to scale. I mean, they're pretty proud of this sort of measurements and things. You should ask some surveyors.
Okay.
About this.
I'm gonna ask a surveyor who is not a cartographer, because there is a difference, right? I mean, there's a difference between cartography and surveying.
Yeah, the cartographers get their information from the surveyors, and then they plot it on the thing and actually draw it, right? They add in like contour lines and stuff like that, don't they? All the points.
All right, so one of the most distorted world maps, the Mercator projection, shows Greenland larger than the USA, which in reality, USA is 8 times the size of Greenland. This is because the Mercator projection presents the meridians as parallel lines, so the polar center point becomes a horizontal line, same as the equator. So you explain to me why Greenland looks so big on that map if it's not distorted, and if it's to scale.
Of course it's distorted. I mean, like, who made that map? Are you trusting that map? Would you trust that map?
Oh my God! Here we go.
I'm just saying, like, what are you using that map as?
I'm gonna post the true size map. Okay.
What do you mean true size map? What are you talking about?
This one right here. Click the link in the side chat. Citymetric.com Horizons true size map lets you move countries around the globe, show how big they really are.
Okay. A nice computer program.
Well, it's taking the actual measured sizes of these places,
yeah,
and allowing you to move them around on a globe
Right. So each of those individual countries will have maps that sort of define it a little bit better, that will be to scale, right? Like an actual depiction of that particular bit, and that's how they know. That's how they know the actual size of it, right?
Well, we know the actual size of it because they've been measured and surveyed.
Yeah.
I'm showing
you.
Exactly. I'm showing you. If you okay, so try it.
And those maps that they've surveyed across the individual bits will all be to scale, to actual scale, right? With no distortion, won't they?
The true size is a website that lets you compare the size of any nation or U.S. state to other land masses by allowing you to move them around to anywhere else on the map. So when left, right, up in the north of the map, Greenland does indeed look huge. Place it next to Africa, though, and you can see it really isn't all that. You can see how vast India is next to the uppity island that conquered it, or how small even a big European nation like France would be in Africa.
Yeah.
So, you can see right there that on the Mercator projection map, which is one of the more commonly used maps, that those nations, those countries are distorted. They look bigger than they actually are when spread out.
Right, so that obviously it's wrong, right? It's not correct, and because of such, you can't know the exact position because there's some weird magnification effect occurring, right?
Well,
on that thing, like you've just said that, right?
We can on a globe,
but we do actually know the sizes, the real sizes, because they've actually been surveyed. And every time you look at the actual surveys of these actual places, they will be to scale on a flat plane, right, with no distortion.
No. I'm empirically showing you that is false. That your assertion is false.
Well, that's where we go. We keep going back to this, right? We're now at an impasse where I say level is horizontal and elevation is measured as a distance up from that horizontal, and you say, oh no, that curves, right?
I have not once said anything about level or horizontal in this conversation. I'm specifically talking about
I'm talking about a flat plane.
Your assertion that a sphere has a non-developable surface is correct. Okay? And I'm saying, yes, you're right. It is correct.
Yep.
And this is the proof that we live on a sphere. Because when you try to take all these mapped out places that have been measured and you try to spread them out on a flat plane,
No. See, what you're doing is you're taking these things that have actually been measured using horizontal and trigonometric things of 180 degrees of triangles, right? All of that function, and they've mapped that, made it a scalable thing and put it on a flat plane, right? And then that's why they've got actual sizes of the things, right? Then some people have come along with a ball, stuck these things on a ball and said, yeah, obviously water curves, right? I mean, I know it looks horizontal and you've mapped it as being horizontal, but we're going to stick it onto a ball and then we're going to go and project that onto a flat plane again and go, look at the land sizes. How ridiculous is that? Man, it doesn't even fit. It's not even, it's distorted about all over the place.
It does sound ridiculous when you say it that way because nobody did that. Nobody said, hey, we're going to start off with the true flat reality and then try to superimpose onto a
you're telling me that your map of the thing is whack. It's all out of proportion. You're telling me that.
It's empirical that you can take a map of the United States, which looks larger on a map, and then move it over Africa, and it fits snugly.
That's on your ridiculous model. I'm saying I don't live like that. If I was living, I would live with the actual maps that I could measure distances and comport to reality, right? That bit works with reality that I live in.
If you're in Japan and you travel,
I wouldn't go to Japan. I'm a carer.
I don't care if you would go to Japan, but if you're in Japan and you want to travel to the United States, which direction is the United States from Japan?
Oh, I haven't got a clue. Do you know? Have you ever had Have you ever had the discussion?
You're an expert on maps.
Have you ever had the discussion about directions with us?
Okay, I'm just going to be done with you, Bev, because you're so disingenuous. you don't really want to know.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get into the direction discussion.
It's impossible to navigate.
I don't think you're prepared for it.
Because we have
just
360 degree
just
travel.
stop.
Yeah.
Just be quiet and mute.
Okay, I'll just be quiet and let you guys be ignorant. Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
But just take a look at that website, play around with it, see what you think.
Make sure you get that personal hit in there, you piece of crap.
Okay, you're a piece of shit, Dave.
There you go. Well done.
I mean, you're not a Christian. You're not a Christian. You're the least Christian person I've ever met and spoken with in my life.
There.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm attacking deception. Sure. I will defend
what deception?
Everything.
What deception, Dave?
You and people like
I am being deceitful by telling you that you can take a map of the United States, which according to Bev is to scale, but looks way bigger on a Mercator projection map, and then move it over Africa, which has also been measured and is to scale, and it fits snugly in the Sahara, even though on the map the United States is bigger than Africa.
Hey, no name.
Is that what you're? Am I being deceitful?
No name. When you read that definition earlier, how can I trust you that you read the whole definition?
I posted the link in the chat, so you can.
Yes, but how can I trust you? Because
in the past, trust me, Dave.
In the past, when you read definitions, you left off main parts. You deceptive.
No, I didn't.
Crap. Oh yeah, I have it on video.
What time? What time? Oh, was it the time that I found a different definition of is water vapor gas?
Same source.
No, it wasn't.
Word.
It was not. No, me and Sean Hopkins and that other guy went through it and found that I found a different source. Yes, because he was also wrong about that, and we both admitted that we were wrong about it.
Go ahead, people. Listen to Sean.
Oh, so I was wrong about water vapor. So that means I'm wrong about everything?
No,
that's a genetic fallacy.
You weren't wrong. You were deceptive.
I admitted that I was wrong. I wasn't trying to deceive. You don't know my motivations. To deceive, to lie, it means you tell somebody that, something that's not true for deceptive purposes. Like I wasn't being deceptive on purpose.
Like leaving out the last sentence. Like leaving out the last sentence.
I didn't leave out the. I copied and pasted my source right into chat. So like you are full of shit.
Like leaving out the last sentence of a statement that was talking about is water vapor a gas when it had in bold print, water vapor is a gas.
Those were two different sources and two different citations, so you are 100% wrong.
Word for word the same source, and you left it out.
No, they were not.
Bold
because we both Googled it a little bit differently, and we came up with different citations and different sources.
I asked what your source was, and Googled it and read right along. I was the one who pointed it out. Remember?
No, actually, you weren't the first person to point it out.
Oh, yes, I was.
No, it was a man like me who was the first person to point it out. I remember it specifically.
Yeah, I remember it, and it's recorded. We toe tagged you with it.
Oh, you toe tagged me. Okay. Over water vapor, for fuck's sake. You know how many things you're wrong about,
over you being deceptive. No, I'm wrong a lot. I'm wrong a lot.
Right, so I shouldn't trust anything you say either.
No, that's not deceptive. Being wrong is not deceptive.
Well, I was wrong, and I admitted it.
No, you were deceptive.
I was not trying to be deceptive.
And the only
you are now wrong. And I'm pointing out to you how you're wrong.
Okay. Keep telling the audience that. That's deceptive.
Okay. Well, keep trying to convince people that I was intending to deceive when I wasn't. Because that
you don't sound too confident, sir. Your voice inflection has changed.
Why do I have to sound confident? And when did you become a psychiatrist?
Oh, I know.
Are you a psychiatrist?
Not yet. No.
No, not yet. It's the one thing that you're not an expert in, apparently.
Guys, this is becoming way more personal than it needs to be.
You're right.
So let's take back. My experience with No Name is he's normally pretty straight up and not one to sort of resort to invectives or insults and that kind of stuff. Like everyone else can get a bit mad sometimes. So maybe we give a bit of generosity here, rather than trying to infer what other people's intent are.
Just assume
read
the whole definition.
Christians should know about the definition of the principle of charity, but for some weird reason, I guess
I'm charitable enough, and I tell you what,
that one in Bible study.
And it's funny that you're bringing up a book you don't believe in, sir.
Yeah, a book that I've actually read that you haven't. Admittedly,
I haven't read the whole thing word for word yet. I'm working on it.
and you're older than me, and you're a Christian, and you've never read it.
I've gotten to the point where it says to fight deception. I've gotten to that part.
Okay, well, just key in on that. What about false prophets?
That's why I'm here, sir.
What about false prophets? Have you got to that part yet?
Sure, lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all truth in the Bible. It
I
talks about all
put you in that category.
Talks about me and you in there.
Have you read the bit in the Bible where it talks about clashing of symbols?
Sure.
Yeah, look, reread that, because that's really kind of important for this conversation.
Yeah. Okay. I read the part where
it gets us never closer to the truth.
Yeah. I read the part about the firmament. I like that part.
Yeah, you keyed in on that one.
No, that's one of the parts I like.
Yeah, it's speaking metaphorically. It says like. Have
you ever looked into foreshadowing in the Bible? Because that's a really interesting topic. So they talk about the 4 pillars, and the 4 pillars have been used as an analogy to describe the 4 prophets in the Old Testament, which is a foreshadowing of the 4 Gospels in the New Testament. Have you ever read about that? That's interesting.
I've read about a lot of analogies in the Bible. Yeah, there's like and as in there. Yeah, sure.
But it's one of the things that they did a lot in Judaic writing was this kind of metaphoric kind of discussion.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm not saying. I didn't say a negative word. Yeah. Not a big fan of Christianity, I will admit to you and be honest, but I have actually studied it. I think that monotheism is inherently not good, but that's just my opinion.
Anyone else want to use a source that they don't believe in?
Well, I can still reference the Bible. I don't need to believe in the Bible to be able to reference it or to be able to discuss it or talk about it.
Well, no, you can't, because Dave is of the school of even the devil can quote the Bible, because I grew up with people like that.
Warn the audience. No name. Warn the audience when you're going to define my thoughts, please.
Yeah, if you don't want him to, actually, that's a fair point, No Name. If you don't want him to infer your intent, you shouldn't then infer his.
Okay, fair. That's fair. Do you hold that position, Rekia? Do you hold the position that even the devil can quote the Bible?
Who's asking?
To suit his needs?
The devil can do whatever he wants.
Have you ever heard that expression or used it?
I've never used it, no.
Have you ever heard it spoken by a Christian to somebody who was arguing a biblical point that was not a Christian?
I don't think so. But I would
really.
I guess what you said could be true. I don't know.
Wow.
Something that Chemo said. Chemo thinks I'm trying to kill the live server for some reason. I don't know why. I was actually just trying to remove the conflict from the argument and actually get people to concentrate on the argument itself. That's all I tried to do, and I think I was actually quite successful in my attempt. But thank you, Chemo.
Because what happened is they were talking about the true size of the earth, and obviously No Name was saying, wow, Rakia, this doesn't sound very spiritual, very religious of you. You're supposed to be a Christian. This wasn't a call for us to say, hey, let's get into the Bible, let's start talking about religion. All No Name was saying was, wow, you're supposed to be a good person, a good man. And Rakia is saying, yeah, we're fighting a war. We're up against spiritual warfare, and not to turn into a religious aspect, but that was the point there, Druss, not to sermon on and preach on about practicality, which we can do with the horizontal. With,
I made one particular point about the Bible I thought Rakia might find interesting. I didn't seek to pursue that conversation. I didn't seek to belittle his beliefs or his thoughts. I gave him my opinion on religion, and I did it.
That wasn't a cue, though, Druss, to bring up religion. Like I said, No Name only brought up religion because, like he was saying,
you're a mod. You do not control the flow of the conversation.
No, I mean, obviously you can talk about religion all you like.
Chemo,
of course you can talk about religion. There's not a problem talking about religion.
Yeah,
I mean, we always talk about religion, but I'm just saying that wasn't a cue.
The topics of the server, Chemo.
Absolutely. I mean, we can talk about any subject, any topic. But the point was that No Name was simply saying, "Well, you're supposed to be."
Let them talk. What are you doing? Why are you just interrupting just the monologue?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, Mr. Scott. They were talking about the true size of the Earth.
Just take it offline. Let him continue, and you can talk.
The point is that No Name used the Bible to personally attack me, and
right,
that was the point. A personal attack, and
exactly.
I turned it around and said exactly what we're in here for. Is that it is a spiritual war, and I'm fighting deception.
Exactly. So you weren't here, Mr. Scott. You've just joined. They were talking about the true size of. Why are you interrupting me, Mr. Scott? Why are you interrupting me? Can I finish my point, Mr. Scott? Why are you interrupting? So what they were talking about is the true size of countries, okay? And like I said, No Name said, well, hold on, you're supposed to be an honest guy. And that's how the religious aspect came into this. So we were talking about countries and the different things like that. So yeah, you guys can carry on. That wasn't a cue for you. That wasn't a cue. That wasn't a cue for you, Drus, to start having a sermon about religion and the Bible and all these.
Not actually how it went down, Chemo. I'll give you one more quote from your Bible, Chemo. Blessed be the peacemaker. That's all I try to do.
Blessed be. How that little spat started when Dave said that how can I be trusted because I deceived people with a definition before, when my claim is that I found a different source that showed a different definition and did not include that one line that was used in somebody else's citation. So somehow, because I found a different source that left that sentence out, I was being deceptive, even though I included the link to it in the side chat. But whatever.
Pretty sure that's how I knew what source you were using and followed word for word when you left out the bold print last sentence. Water vapor.
Pretty sure that was someone else's citation.
Gas. No Name. Let's clear it up. Is water vapor a gas?
Yes.
Thank you.
I admitted that I was wrong because I found a different citation with more information, more accurate information.
I like it when we find out when we're wrong about stuff, because that's an opportunity to learn. But it's having the humility to recognize when you're wrong and to accept it and to actually use it as a positive thing. I've got this stuck on the back of, on the wall behind my monitor at work, which is I never lose, I either win or I learn.
I like that.
And I think it's a good attitude to have, because there's very little in my world, that I will not question in some way, shape or form, or I want validation or justification for. And I think that's the important thing, is how you're justifying your position and whether your position is consistent. And it's the consistency thing that I've always had personally a problem with the flat Earth view of the world, is it's so inconsistent. It's going, when we look at sort of, I'll just call it classical science, the science we use in day-to-day life, it's all pointing in pretty much similar directions, very, very close. And when you look at sort of like the flat Earth, it's, well, no, you've got to believe your senses except when you can't. You've got to do this except when you can't. You've got to do that except when you can't. And there's very little consistency, because I don't think that you have enough data to reach a conclusion for the shape of the Earth under your view of it. That's my personal view. That's why I think globe denier has become more of a statement than flat earther.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Globe skeptic and globe denier, or whatever, globe agnostic, shape agnostic, things like that.
Could that be called your new religion then?
What?
Your new religion?
Globe.
No, because we don't worship it.
Yeah, but you're sort of branding everybody that doesn't go along with your particular religion. That
No, what I was pointing out, Bev, is things that are right tend to be consistently right. So I going back.
All you've got to do is believe it to be true, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's not the case. You can believe anything to be true. I can believe that there's a pink unicorn flying around Venus. So what?
Belief and religion are two different things.
Consistent evidence that all points in the same direction, when I can show the efficacy of what we have, the map thing is a great example. So, we have distances between places.
You did a great way of showing that you can't develop a spherical surface. I mean, you did a very good job of showing that can't be where we're getting our maps from.
That's what you think I said. That's not what I said, and I've never said that at any point. But congratulations for trying to strawman me, Bev. I object to that, and I actually find that disingenuous, so please don't.
So when they measure distance, they measure a horizontal distance on a map, and that's...
No, they measure the distance travelled across the surface.
Yeah, that's a horizontal distance as marked with a scalable
it's not
map.
A horizontal distance. It's a distance between 2 points. As you say, you're going up and down mountains. You're changing elevation.
Yeah, that's the contour lines.
If you change elevation, is it horizontal?
That's the contour lines.
No. Answer that question.
Shown,
if you change
shown
elevation,
on a map, contour
if you change
lines.
elevation when you're travelling from A to B, are you travelling on a horizontal line?
You
no,
don't.
You're fucking not.
You on the map, you would have a measured distance, wouldn't you? And then when you draw a triangle on that, then that triangle would have 180 degrees, just as it does when you measure it in reality.
Of distance travelled, that's not a horizontal line.
No, the distance travelled won't be the same as the distance on the map because
the roads aren't straight.
Yeah, this topography, right?
Yeah, so it's not horizontal. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's horizontal slices though. That's what the contour lines are. They're shown as horizontal slices through the thing of even.
That's where you get leveling.
Yeah, even elevation, right?
Change of elevation. So if you have a change of elevation and you're going on a journey
above horizontal slices above a horizontal surface of
not a horizontal distance.
Mean sea level, meaning horizontal. So
sea level is a point. It's not a line.
Keep coming back to it.
No.
It's your datum, isn't it? Mean sea level is your datum.
Sea level is a point, it's not a line.
Mean sea level is your datum, isn't it? It's your datum, isn't it?
It's a point, not a line, isn't it?
It's your datum. Do you understand? Do you understand what your datum is?
Oh, I'm not going to answer any questions until you ask that one.
The datum is a point.
Yes.
Yeah, would that be your initial datum? Would be a point that all other levels are measured from, right?
And we know that sea level is different in different places.
That's why they have mean.
We have mean sea level.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Which was where I was going next.
Yeah.
Which shows that the water ain't fucking level.
But the water in a canal would be though, wouldn't it? From lock to lock.
If it was level.
Yeah.
If it was level, we wouldn't need a mean sea level. You're now moving from sea level to something else.
Yeah, well, a canal. A canal has a lock system.
And I have just demonstrated that it's not.
A canal has a lock system for a change in the level.
When we're talking about the sea.
Pardon?
You're moving goalposts. We were talking about sea level.
You're talking about level.
No, you were talking about sea level. You said, well,
the mean sea level, yes.
And then I said, no, sea level is a datum, it's a point. And then you said, yes, a datum is a point. So we agree that sea level is a point of reference.
Yes.
We know that
it's horizontal, isn't it?
Places,
yeah, and elevation is measured as from a distance from that point in vertical height.
If it was level, we wouldn't need a mean, would we?
That's just to establish a reference.
Yes,
that all other heights above it can be referenced from.
In the world.
Yes.
Hey, can you guys please stop talking over each other? Can one person let the other person finish? Because it's really hard to follow what you guys are on about.
Really aggressive.
It's hard enough to follow listening to Bev, but it really needs to get to an end. So
yeah, that was my fault. I'll take that one.
So the confusion may get cleared up. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Apologies, Bev. Please finish your point. I apologise.
The horizontal is a datum, mean sea level. It's an average of the tide.
No, a datum, as you've already admitted, is a point. A point is not a horizontal. And as we have a mean sea level, you're acknowledging that we have different sea levels. Therefore, it cannot be horizontal by definition, because to go from one elevation to another would require an angled line.
Yeah, a change in elevation.
Yeah,
A measured vertical distance above the horizontal point that you're going to call it. Which I suppose you could say, because that is the point at the bottom of your measuring rod. But it is going to be a horizontal reference. And all elevations will change relative to that mean sea level reference.
Yeah, datum, point, yes.
Yes, which is horizontal, right?
No, a point can't be horizontal. A point is just a point.
Okay. Well, a point is nothing then, if you're going to take it as that. So it doesn't exist.
And we're taking
No,
that from the verb.
a point is that of which has no parts, as defined in Euclidean geometry. You are using Euclidean geometry, are you?
Why can't we use non-Euclidean?
It actually doesn't matter. A point is just a definition. It's a data.
Yeah, that's the definition within Euclidean geometry. That's why I asked you, are you using Euclidean geometry?
Well, no, because it's outside of all of that.
You're using non-Euclidean geometry then.
No, I'm saying that a point, a datum, is not in reference to either Euclidean or non-Euclidean geometry. I'm just talking about...
It is definition number 1 within the Euclidean elements.
Yes, there is a definition for...
Yeah, it's the first definition. So it's obviously, because it's a logical system, then it's the most important, isn't it? A point is that of which has no parts. It's nothing. Doesn't exist.
So it can't be horizontal then, can it?
So wait, why? What are you talking about then? You're talking about something that doesn't exist.
So you said sea level is a datum, a point.
Yes. That all of the horizontals can be measured from. Right?
And so which you could take a tangent line from a point.
Yeah,
and
differential
that
leveling.
Line can be level. But if I've got something that's 5 feet and I've got something that's 6 feet, I can't draw a horizontal line between them. That's the point I'm trying to make. If we have a mean sea level,
they'd each have a horizontal line of their own, and you could measure the difference between the two.
You just overtalked me, and I'm trying not to do it to you. Please. Are we good with that?
We just
finish?
told you how the surveying techniques would occur.
Cool. And
Bev, can Foolish just finish what he was saying, please, Bev?
Yeah, of course he can.
Because I heard what you said, but I'd like to hear what he's got to say.
Yeah.
So we agree there's a mean sea level. A mean means there's a deviation from the norm. Yeah, in statistics. We agree that a datum is a point. So we agree that if there's a mean, there is a plus and a minus to that mean, from the norm. And that means that the sea is not horizontal. You can't make that claim.
Did you say mean was a deviation from the normal?
No, a deviation from the norm. So sorry, it shows there is a deviation from the norm. Sorry, I got my words slightly jumbled.
No, isn't it just an average, the mean?
Yeah, which means there's a plus and a minus, which means that the sea cannot be horizontal.
It's the average of the 2 points,
yes,
the highest and lowest point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we've got a high point and a low point, they cannot be horizontal.
No, that's why they have a mean. That's what the mean means, right?
Yeah, so the sea is not horizontal.
Nobody ever said it was, right?
You did. You did. Several occasions.
So you're doing the semantical thing where I say level is horizontal. You're going to go, well, the sea has waves.
No, I'm not saying the sea has waves.
Right,
I'm saying...
tides, then. The sea has tides. The sea has tides.
No, that's not even anything to do with mean sea level, is it?
Yeah, It's the average of the high tide and the low tide. That's what the mean is. That's what it means.
That's not what mean sea level is.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
No, it's not.
Citation, please.
The mean is the average between the highest and the lowest.
Provide a citation that is what mean sea level is. It's
that's
the
what
difference between the high tide and the low tide. Because I'll tell you the problem with this now, before you even go and look for it, is that high tide and low tide is different on pretty much every fucking beach.
Yeah, that's why it's changed. It used to be in Liverpool, and then it changed in the UK and moved to Newby, I think, because Newby has a really low difference between high tide and low tide. Has the lowest, I think, in the UK. So that's why they chose to use it at Newby.
Wales Next Sea has the lowest difference.
Okay, well, it's not where it originally was. It originally was in Liverpool. But Liverpool has like a 12-metre tide difference, right? Cause
no, it doesn't.
So what? You
it does. It has a like massive difference at Liverpool, but I mean that's where originally.
Liverpool doesn't have a 12-metre tidal difference. I'll tell you that now.
Does it not?
No.
Okay. Oh, well, they were on about building a barrier there anyway. But so anyway, it has a very large. 12
foot's a pretty large tidal difference.
Okay. All right, whatever. It has a large difference, right? But it used to be in Liverpool. It's not in Liverpool now.
Bev, I will admit, happily, you probably know more about surveying than I do, because I've never done it, and I do believe that you have. I do feel that I have a better understanding of the sea than you do, mate.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Well, the mean is just an average, right? And then you use that as a reference datum. And everything else is established from that datum, right? Now, that datum is a horizontal.
No, it's not. It's a point.
It's a point in Newby then, right? How do you tell the elevation wherever you live? Because that point is in Newby. How do you tell your elevation? If it's just a point of reference, just that point that doesn't exist in Newby. How do you tell your reference elevation from that point?
I don't think it's calculated between the high and the low tides. So I'm still waiting for that citation.
Well, okay. Well, let's say where I live, and it used to be in Liverpool, and that's where it was. Probably around the time that they started building the Leeds to Liverpool Canal. So that the reference of that Leeds to Liverpool Canal is 51 feet above mean sea level. Right? It comes up 4 locks, I think, which makes them locks quite large, right? So there's something a little bit strange in that. But it comes from there, it comes up, and it's referenced at 51 feet. And then it goes for 27 miles meandering along the way before it gets to the next lock. Now, the reference of that height of the water is 51 feet. And it's probably marked on the stone when they were making the canal. Mm-hmm. And then they had to make a lock because the land beyond that point was at a higher elevation. It rose up, so they need to put a lock system in order to get the boats and the barges up and down to traverse in between these levels of water. Right? Understand, when we're surveying now, we're working. I say that water level in that canal is horizontal. And when it says it's 51 feet elevation all the way along it, I just presume that's because the water level is horizontal. It's a straight line. It's like it's seeking its own level, all of it.
Horizontal.
Yeah, it's a new concept.
Your assumption is bad.
Is it?
It doesn't match observations with a telescope.
What, the water level in the canal being horizontal?
Yes, water level in the canal.
Okay. So you presume that the level, the horizontal, the water level in the canal drops away from the horizontal then?
Yes, not presume, see.
Oh, you see that it does?
Yes.
Jolly good. Oh, Mayok, man, you've not ever done any surveying, have you? Or have you looked through a telescope and seen this drop of the water level?
I've seen it in videos, so I'm going to say I've seen it through a telescope, just not my own telescope.
Oh, so you've seen...
I've seen people put, a measuring, whatever you call those measuring flags out, and you can see that it drops.
Okay.
So the horizontal cannot be level. Oh, sorry, horizontal, it does deviate from horizontal.
Brilliant. Measurably so, like Jesse Kozlowski says. I mean, you can measure that, right?
Like he's shown, not like he says.
Like he's shown. You think he's shown us that the water level has a curvature to it?
Nope, drop to it.
A drop, not curve, just a drop, like a tilt. Belu said he was taught him the tilt.
It's hard, I'm just saying I can't tell that it was a curve per se. I just know that the elevation of the water at one side is higher than the other.
Yeah, tilt then. Yeah.
So, no. Did I say tilt? I said specifically not.
Well, Jesse sort of calls it a tilt.
I said that I cannot tell if it's tilted. I cannot measure all the points in between. I can only tell from his images that it was lower at one side. So tilt is one possible option, curve is the other.
Okay, is this the half-mile lake thing?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever seen his 1 mile level line as well?
I don't recall. But I could also put it with Larry Scott's 26-mile observation, where there's 155 meters of tilt on the top of a mountain.
Wow. Tilt. Mountain tilt.
Yep. Mountain appears lower than it should by over 155 meters. Maybe it was 165. I don't remember, but it was hundreds of meters.
Are you using that as a proof of drop?
Downity.
Drop.
Droppity.
Yeah, droppity. Oh, nice. But that wouldn't, on that mountain one, wouldn't be over water, like you wouldn't be measuring the drop of the water. I mean, like, one of them, he could just be up on top of a mountain. He's higher than everything else, I presume, right?
The surveyed height of one mountain, the surveyed height of the other mountain, and the comparison shows it 150 meters deviating.
All right. Is one of them further away?
So
one of these mountains?
Water, it works over mountains. It works even better.
Is that a from a mountain looking at a mountain in the distance?
Yes.
Right.
And it's short.
So it's
shorter than it should be. Then you have Miles Davis.
Sorry, it's shorter than it should be.
Yes.
Oh.
Below horizontal.
Okay, so yeah, obviously then you know that perspective compression is a function of distance, right?
Perspective compression is a function of distance. How does that work?
Because like you just said, that it was smaller, it was in the distance.
Okay, so you're just talking about perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective happens at a fixed rate, and it doesn't affect when you're at the same elevation of something. It does not affect that.
Does not affect.
Miles Davis's video where you look at two objects. You're at 200 meters.
Davis.
Object in front of you is at 200 meters. Mountain in the background is 1,000 meters, and below both of those 200 meters. So you've established a horizontal.
Okay.
And 1,000-meter object.
Did he have a horizontal?
Horizontal.
Yeah. How did you establish the horizontal?
By having your height at the same height as an object in the foreground.
Okay.
And then
how far is that object in the foreground?
The same height as you. Do you listen?
Okay, and how far away is the object in the distance, please?
I do not recall, but it was relatively close. It was probably like a mile or two.
Okay, and that is a horizontal, you say?
I've just got to interrupt quickly. I owe you an apology. You were right. That's how they used to calculate mean sea level. I apologise.
Thank you.
So I'm sure you've seen the...
So, Mayok man, please.
Yes.
Go on, carry on.
Okay. It's So you've got a object in front of you.
Yeah.
And basically all objects are the same height as you, your eye level, will establish a horizontal, won't they?
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's what you're saying, yes. Like
no, I'm asking you, would that be the case?
You're saying whatever's in front of you at the same height as a vertical reference elevation you're talking, right?
Yes, your
okay.
height.
Yeah.
I don't know why that, even it's colloquial speech.
Okay.
The same height as you is not a complex phrase.
Okay, so that, okay, and when so you're going across with the horizontal, and there's a vertical dropping down to give the height, and there's a vertical dropping down at the other end of the horizontal that's dropping down, right?
Yeah.
And that's also got the same height as you, and that's how you know when you're looking along a horizontal line, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
well, that'd make the baseline that you've just said, your mean sea level is a horizontal, right?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the observation that we're talking about. And
well, I mean, that's okay. I mean, I know you don't realise what you say half of the time.
Oh, I know what I say.
Okay.
So I'm looking across, and objects of the same height, as your eye level, will not drop due to perspective.
Is he cut off then?
Damn, mosquitoes. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard me, Bev.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah. Nice of you to admit.
No, as I say, I always admit when I'm wrong. It's one of my good. I've got a lot of annoying fucking characteristics. That's what I do value.
So I'm not sure
that's how they used to do it. It's not how they do it now.
I'm not sure where you deviate on this from understanding that I've established a horizontal, and mountains that should be way above that horizontal fall below that horizontal. So that has to have a reason. And it's not perspective, because perspective, when you're at the same elevation as your target, does not do that.
Why? How do you know that doesn't do that?
I've observed it.
You've observed it?
Yes.
You've observed perspective compression as a function of distance.
There is essentially no such thing. Not with reference to what I'm talking about. Take yourself 10 beer cans, line them up in a line over 100 meters. Now get down on those beer cans. Put your camera at the exact same height as the rim of the first beer can. And look down. And all of those beer cans, although they get smaller and smaller and smaller, the tops of them never deviate.
You put them on a level line or a horizontal line? What sort of a line did you lay your camera?
Your fixation was saying that word. I mean, yes, we all have established that as a horizontal.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I could do it even with
that level line is horizontal then, right?
If I aligned my camera with them up at a 45-degree angle with the tops, and I kept on going higher and higher with the cans at the 45-degree angle, and my camera at a 45-degree angle, it would still all line up. Horizontal, or vertical, or left or right.
I'd like to say some words to Bev. Bev, you're a lying fucking weasel. Completely deluded, lying to your fellow man, to his face, every day. No shame. Disgusting.
For saying what, Mark?
You're a liar. Everything you say is a lie. Your whole rhetoric is a lie.
Did you say horizontal?
That's a bit...
Get level.
It's a bit
Get
vague,
level in
isn't it?
Fantasyland, you lying cunt.
You're a little bit triggered here, Mark.
So is this allowed here?
Been called in to abuse, have you, Mark?
It's Dawn,
This is what y'all represent.
But it's allowed.
Dawn, Bev, fuck you, you're a liar.
No, I totally discern what he's saying, and I think he's being a cunt.
So no one else is
you
going to step up here and mute this guy?
You just called me a liar.
I'm not a mod, so I can't. If I was, I'd mute
lies. Pretending you think water's all horizontal when never having measured any of it. Disgusting lies.
Yeah. Yeah, a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference,
he
right?
has done some measurements. I've seen them.
There's other people that have said that they think level is horizontal in here as well, Mark. I mean, are you saying the same to them?
Have you used the water level?
I've used it.
More than once?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is that how you've established that water levels get a horizontal plane?
Well, that and the surveying training that I've had in my youth.
Is that clear for everybody? That he's not lying? He's done it? He's repeated it? It's something that you can do? So when someone calls this man a liar for saying that, you realize that guy is being deceptive?
Asking the question.
What's the largest distance that you've ever measured level, Ed?
Pardon?
Professionally.
Professionally, I've never professionally surveyed, right?
Okay, what about
I'm not a professional surveyor, nor have I ever claimed to be a professional surveyor. I do have a land surveying qualification, though.
What's the longest distance you've ever measured level as an amateur?
The measured level.
Yes. What's the longest distance you've ever measured level?
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
Oh, God.
Is that a malformed question? I mean,
do you mean like in one go, sighted 2 points? I guess you could go 200 meters. I guess from either side, so 400 meters. Or are you what you're talking about? Just looking through the scopes? How far out you think you can see through the scopes?
Distance you've ever measured
Accurately, or what? In order to look through the scope.
Well, I mean, I would hope it would be an accurate measurement.
Well, yeah. Well, in order, do you know how to like? Do you know how differential leveling works?
So is that your answer?
Like, do you know how? Are you just going to keep talking over me whenever I'm trying to qualify what you just asked me?
Answering questions with a question.
Well, yeah, because it's going to try and hopefully give you an idea on what's going on. Right, and I suppose nobody wants to know. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We know it's painful. We know it's painful for you.
What's the longest distance you've ever measured? I know it's difficult for you to answer a direct question.
It is when you keep talking, right? Whenever I try and answer, I mean, we know it's painful for you to hear truthful facts coming at you that you can't deny. You just have to rumpus.
What's the longest distance you ever measured accurately with a level?
Millimeter accurate, I reckon I could go 100 meters to the millimeter, which is, within the error margin of the tool. So you could go 100 meters one side and 100 meters the other side, foresight and backsight. So that, in between those 2 points, would be 200 meters. But I wouldn't really do that. I'd maybe use that as a reference and use it as a double rodding technique. I'd check it with the 50 meter as well, just to make sure, and do a foresight backsight of 2 measurements. But I mean, like, just for the test, to when I go later on this week to do the test, I'm going to do 3 points. Right, and then move the level.
I wanted to know.
It's
within a few millimeters accuracy.
Yeah.
What's
within a millimeter? I would do it.
What's that?
I would within a millimeter. I want to be accurate. Well, yeah, when I'm doing anything, I want to be within the millimeter of error.
Okay.
And hopefully end up with
a... Do you think that's accurate enough to show curvature as predicted by the globe model over 100 meters or 50 meters? You think a millimeter is more or less what the...
No name, he's not even checking for that.
What's that?
He's not even checking.
The curve seems to know what's going on here.
I do.
Let Curved explain it then. Go on.
There's nothing to explain. You don't understand what you're doing. You're doing nothing to distinguish between flat and curved.
I'm going to establish a level line of sight,
okay, go ahead.
and then prove that a straight line segment
Hey, Bev,
can't be shared.
Be fair, mate. You asked Curve to explain it.
Well, yeah, he's explaining the test, all right? I was just making sure that he knew what he was talking about, because there's an extra test that's going on this weekend.
Well,
I don't know whether he's... okay, off you go then.
Why don't you wait for him to finish and then tell him he's wrong if you think he's wrong?
Okay.
You mean as Curve cut in, let him finish?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Curve. Tell us how many times you use the theodolite, Curve. Tell us how to use it. How do you set it up?
You're interrupting him. A few seconds of silence and then you'll be right. Right, Curved? Off you go.
Well, I mean, before I was interrupted, so I mean, do you know what the amount of curvature is predicted by the globe model over 50 meters or 100 meters or 200? Because it's less than a millimeter. So it's well within your margin of error.
Over what? 100 meters, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, not 200.
That's roughly 300 feet, right?
100 meters, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over there's 5,280 feet a mile. If it's 8 inches per mile squared, that means over the course of 5,280 feet, you should see approximately 8 inches of curvature, right? But over 300 feet,
8 inches of
you
drop.
would see less than a millimeter.
Okay.
8 inches of drop, right?
Well, yeah.
As used by the flat Earth all the time. That argument. 8
Horizontal.
miles squared.
No, I don't say that.
So,
I mean, that's ridiculous, right?
That's what's projected.
The fantasy numbers.
projected.
Yeah, I don't do fantasy maths.
That's not a flat Earth number. Hang on.
That's the number that I've heard bandied about by flat earthers for the past couple of years now. So
No, you give us that number, right? I don't ever. Yeah.
That's our model.
Yeah.
So we say that measures out a parabola and it's not accurate over long distances.
That's wrong too, but you can go ahead.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
It's accurate over any distance anybody would be concerned with.
Yeah, is this why you guys get upset when we say level is horizontal? Like, because that's a straight line.
I get upset because you just keep on burping that phrase
right,
out.
well, you know, Sly Sparkane's got a bending water level test, and he has 16 100-meter water levels that he's going to line up. But they're all individually 100-meter water levels. Now, what do you suppose he's going to find in his droppity?
Find a hump in the middle.
Over.
Find that there's droppity.
Right, yeah, but how much droppity? Because that guy's just said it's 1 millimeter.
About 8 inches per mile.
Well, how does he get 16 1 millimeters add up to 8 inches? I mean, that's really poor maths, right?
Have you ever tried? You have a hatred of non-Euclidean geometry, but go look on a basketball.
Oh, is that what you're using? You're using non-Euclidean geometry.
Matt, let him finish what he said.
Now, establish a horizontal or a
non-Euclidean horizontal.
Bev, you're doing it again, mate.
No. But Bev, this is just a straight-up measurement. Now measure the drop from that line over your basketball, and you'll see that it gets progressively greater with each step. But if you measure between each step, measure it over 12 inches and then measure it over ½ inches, and you'll notice that the first couple of measurements will be very minute, and they'll get bigger and bigger and bigger as you go further and further down the line.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sly Sparkane's got 16.
Hold on. So now take a whole bunch of 1 millimeters, or take a whole bunch of these measurements that you got from the beginning of your test measuring the basketball, and you'll notice that geometry, or your thoughts of how geometry works, Euclidean geometry, doesn't apply.
Okay. It does sound fantastical, right? Because you've got 16. You've got 16 water levels that will individually have 1 millimeter. But if you stand at one end of them, the last one will suddenly gain a greater proportion of drop in it than the 1 millimeter
you
that's
can see this on a
predicted.
basketball.
Right, so, yeah, but these water levels change in the amount of drop that they individually have, depending on how far away you are from them.
Go measure a basketball.
Well,
Measure
like,
basketball,
I don't.
you'll find out the exact same thing happens.
I honestly don't
So in
understand
real
how your
world,
logic can do that, mate.
I don't understand why you're arguing.
You could do with a little bit of help from one of your friends here.
Do you disagree that the basketball will yield the same ratio of results?
Like, you claim that there will be less than a millimeter drop over each of these 100-meter water levels. But even that drop is dependent. Even that drop is dependent on where you are.
Dev, aren't you being a little dishonest here? Because
No, I think you're being really confused.
Bev. If you measure on a basketball, you will get the same kind of result.
Measuring on a basketball for?
What?
When you measure on a basketball?
Yes.
Why do you keep measuring basketballs?
Because I'm measuring a sphere to see what spheres would give me for results.
Right, and so you're equating the surface of water
as a sphere, yes.
with that sphere, right? Okay. So
well, it seems like the measurements are in keeping with that.
The measurements of water being level.
Well, no,
and dropping from the position that you're at.
Let's go back to you specifically.
At an exponential rate, going greater and greater as you move away from the water level.
Isn't that strange that matches what we see on a
Do you think that matches reality? Do you really?
Yes.
I think you could do with some help. Nobody's saving you here. Nobody's coming to.
So you think that a basketball would
They
not yield
really
such
hope
results?
this is true for you and you can pull this through. There's a lot of people hoping you're going to do well
You're
here.
just maligning my character, and I'm just kind of curious to why you're not addressing the points that are being made.
Okay.
You're just sort of like now being incredulous and not
So
speaking.
we've got a water level, the tube, right?
Yes.
And it goes a mile long, right? It's a
Yep,
mile.
and with a whole bunch of 1 millimeter deviations. Yes.
No, it's just one. It's like a big tube, a mile long.
Yes.
One tube.
Yes.
And we fill it up with water.
Uh-huh.
Right, and each end, you will see the water level in each end of it, right? If we can get it level, you will see the water in each end of it, and you will be able to say that level of the water at that end is the same as that level of water at the other end, right? That's what the tool does.
Yes, but you'll be looking.
How high the end's going to be?
Pardon?
How high will the ends be?
They'll have to be the same height, won't they?
They'll be the
Otherwise,
same height.
yeah, because the water level will have to be
1 inch.
Well, I don't know, yeah, you're confused, surely.
I don't think you understand, buddy.
Just the same height.
I don't think
It doesn't even matter if you built it.
Okay.
Hypothetically, you know that it would be the same height. It's
Okay,
off
yeah,
the water.
yeah, it's just level, right?
The same elevation.
It's just level.
Have you got that? You got that picture of your level of your so we can see in the chat.
All right, now
You've got your device
God.
thing there.
Okay, I guess
He's
the
got a device.
conversation's
Yeah,
over.
you can see what he means, yeah.
I guess the conversation's over.
The conversation's over, right? Well, anyway,
Well, no, Chemo has decided that it's going to be his conversation now.
somebody run away. It's Mayop man running.
Well, I'm getting
no,
it
not
though. If
running
there's
away.
a
I'm
rise,
just not allowed to continue the conversation, so I'm allowing the conversation to drop. Okay, if somebody else wants to take over, I guess that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
I was perfectly happy to try and continue trying to understand. If you understand that what I'm describing on a basketball, and don't obfuscate you to I think the Earth is a basketball, but does a basketball yield the results I'm describing? Where progressively the drop from a horizontal increases.
You're telling him not to obfuscate. We were talking about measurements over Earth, and you went to a basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an analogy. You've heard of those before, right?
You know, like you
Thanks,
can't.
thanks.
I've got a thing that I did with my lad ages ago, right?
He's incredulous over the concept that a bunch of 1 millimeter drops can add up to a giant drop at the end. And I'm telling him that if you are
It's exponential, right? It gets greater.
If you look at a basketball, do you not get the same kind of results?
Well, I'm asking you to compare that with
I would
Sly
like you to fucking answer
Sparkane's
one time. Would you
reality
possibly do that?
test
Can you be
of
so kind as to actually answer the question?
16 individual water levels. Right now, they all individually have according to you, less than 1 millimeter drop.
He's
right?
I think would your level work on a basketball?
On the top of it, yes. So you know where a horizontal fits on top of a basketball.
No,
yeah, it's obvious.
Timo.
That's
Timo,
what
that
horizontal
is
is on a basketball.
Would it show level on a basketball, your water level?
Kima. Well, yes, a water level would. Well, not that kind of water level, no.
No, Bev's device.
If it would scale down to the size of an amoeba.
No, even then, you'd still be in the.
You have a really poor understanding of horizontal, obviously.
I'm still, Vev. Is there any? Do you have a mental problem that keeps you from answering
Nice
questions,
add-on.
or is it intentional?
What?
Is it intentional?
Go on then. Give us your question.
Okay, you're going to answer this time.
Well, if I'm able to answer it and it makes sense,
all right.
I'll answer
if you're
it.
On if you measure a basketball, let's say every half an inch, will the first measurements of drop from a horizontal on the basketball, a line struck across the off the surface of a basketball, will the first couple of measurements be very small?
Yes.
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 Does it seem as if those measurements would not add up to the drop that you'll find perhaps 3 and 4 measurements away?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
that's
Earth,
definitely
if the
the
Earth were
way.
a sphere, if the Earth were a sphere, then
that
Euclidean
measurement,
geometry might yield problems.
That measurement
that would
from
be
the
in keeping with
horizontal
millimeter.
would be a measurable drop, as you've just described. Yes.
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 Now, if on the Earth
Brilliant.
was 25,000 miles in
Now,
radius, you would expect about
do
a
you
millimeter
think-
drop every 300
Right, no, I've answered your question, right? Don't flow into another one. Now you can answer me a question, right?
Sure.
In the place that we live, we call reality. Do you suppose there are people who have a profession that can establish a horizontal line
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Geodetic surveyors.
for a mile, right? Just 1 mile. Let's say a start point, a midpoint, and then an end point, and you've got to get all those 3 on the same horizontal.
I don't know if you would call him a professional, but Miles Davis did that.
Oh, did he? Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think that's over like
So-
100 kilometers.
So okay, so you've now got 3 points over a mile of a horizontal that you guaranteed horizontal.
Oh,
Horizontal meaning straight line, right?
Right,
With-
right. I'm doing 130 miles, I think. 130 kilometers.
So like at one end of this horizontal, you could drop a plumb bob, and that vertical would be perpendicular to the horizontal at that end, right? You go to the other end of the horizontal.
At the far end, it would be different.
What do you mean? It'd be horizontal and the vertical.
Not if it's horizontal.
Yeah.
No, the horizontal line that you struck, there will be a deviation. Of course, over a mile, that might be a little challenging to measure, but if you do a stellar measurement, you'll find out. that
Okay,
it's,
right. So you're imagining now that the horizontals that we're going to establish, that line, the surveyors have just established, you said at the beginning, a horizontal line, right?
on
3
a ball,
points.
on a ball, on a spherical.
No,
Earth,
they're
yes.
just a horizontal line is all we were asking.
On a
In
spherical
reality, right? Surveyors, professionals that work in reality to establish a horizontal line. Now, do you want to go over it again? Do you think that is possible?
Can you strike a horizontal line that will be will be plumb on both sides? No. that's
No,
impossible.
no. Listen.
The same horizontal line you had on your basketball, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, that horizontal line that you strike on your basketball.
Yeah. That's
God,
the same one we're
Rakia.
doing over Earth.
Yeah.
Right. If you do that, then there will be drop, and the plums will slowly start to change.
No, the question was,
The
do
plums
you
will be
think there are professional people that work that can
Well, Rakia changed
establish
it, but okay.
3 points over a mile on the same horizontal line? Do
Yes,
you
I am
think
absolutely confident
that
they
is
can do that.
possible?
That's not a
Okay,
problem.
brilliant. Now, let's imagine again that we've got those surveyors.
Hold on. I got to take that back. No, you can't get it to be horizontal at both ends. Can't be done. It's impossible.
Oh, how long a horizontal do you think you can
You could do a level line between them.
How long a horizontal do you think it's possible for professional surveyors to establish, please?
Do you want to be technical or in the realm of...
I don't know. I'm presuming you're just freestyling it at the minute.
Do you want to be technical or...
yeah, you just freestyle it, dude.
Construction requirements. The Earth is a curve, so if you go 1 millimeter away, technically, there is a difference in the gravitational vector 1 millimeter away. However, that would be measured in, angstroms. It would be measured in the smallest of measurements.
Can the professionals establish a horizontal?
I said that is impossible technically.
Okay.
So no one can establish a horizontal ever, is what you're saying?
No, because it's on a ball. You establish a horizontal on a basketball.
Does any one of your buddies want to step in here and help you?
Does anybody disagree with me besides flat earthers? On the technical side, it can't be done.
Dude, we're just saying that level is horizontal.
Yeah, thanks, Rakia.
Don't try and make it sound like anybody that speaks up is automatically labelled with that label that you've just said. We're just talking about level and horizontal here, and whether you think it's possible for professionals that work every day to establish 3 points on a horizontal.
We can establish that plumb bobs are not parallel to each other over longer distances.
Oh, dude!
So
like you're swapping track, right? But who establishes that?
Geodetic surveyors.
Any particular geodetic surveyors?
We could do Larry Scott. We could do Jesse Kozlowski. We could do and probably just
but
anyone.
You guys keep going around an imaginary
Those are the only two
curve.
that I really know.
You're not going straight.
Right, so they're the guys. They're definitely the guys that we need to talk to because you don't know what you're talking about, do you?
No, I'm talking. I'm absolutely correct. I'm relaying.
Who are you relaying information from then, please?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm relaying from Jesse Kozlowski.
Oh, nice.
And Larry
You changed
Scott.
your mind 3 times.
I told you I have 2 surveyors that I know, and you're saying who am I relaying from?
That's nice.
Are you mentally deranged?
Nice ad hom as well.
That's what
Did they tell you to say that? These professional surveyor friends that you're relaying messages from, did they tell you to say that to us?
They're typically quite polite and tolerant of
Whoever told you they couldn't get a straight line in construction lied to you, buddy.
I didn't say you can't get a straight line. I said you can't get a horizontal to go
flat. Straight, horizontally flat. It's all the same.
Horizontal is a local phenomenon.
Don't be retarded.
We can't do a horizontal line over a sphere? Let's just assume it is a sphere. You think we can't do a horizontal line?
What is your reference? What is your reference? The center of the ball?
The first
point. Your starting point.
What are you talking about? Your starting point, your first data point.
You date them. Usually a benchmark or two.
What is your reference?
From mine when I did
it. Gravity will change with every micrometer.
No, the benchmark's the reference. Established. You have a known reference and then you move that to an unknown place and then that becomes a known established benchmark, especially when you run it backwards and forwards a few times to check for errors and make sure it's right. Then it becomes a known datum of its own, established, right? Because it's checked. People can check it.
Argue why it's wrong that you cannot establish on a technical level a horizontal on Earth that will be.
Wait a minute, you're saying it can't.
Both ends will have plumb lines.
I'm saying that's what tools we have. Tools that actually do that, right? That make a horizontal, right? The professionals that you've just said can't do it have tools.
Phenomenon. Horizontal is a local phenomenon.
You know, an auto level, right? When you're looking, when you're looking through that, right? That's local. That position that you're at is local, right? But when you look through the sites, you're looking like not local, are you? You're like you're away from being local. But that line that you're looking at is deemed to be a horizontal reference line. And you measure things from that horizontal reference line. Now, that's not local, because the dude goes away with a measuring stick.
That is correct, Bev, and it deviates from level.
So that's not horizontal then, is that what you're saying?
Excuse me, Bev.
No, that might be correct.
The greater
The curve
the
might be correct.
distance, the greater the deviation between horizontal and level. You just described something accurately. Your horizontal line that you see through your instrument, which if you're looking through an auto level out into the distance, horizontally, the greater the distance, the greater the deviation between that level surface below you of, say, the water that is curving downward away from your horizontal line that is tangent to the radius of the sphere at your location.
Okay, so what's the deviation, dude? Why do they say that crosshair is a horizontal?
Because horizontal is not level.
Okay, so the vertical line, does that deviate either as well? Or...
Yes.
Oh, right, so the vertical isn't vertical.
Retarded. We're not keeping level with your ball. We're keeping level with our first point. Stop playing your retard game, you fucking 3-year-old.
What are you doing here? You don't
wondering why you don't understand what a straight line is. What are those lines on your paper, motherfucker, that you write on? What are those, you retard? Are those curved too?
Slow down, Demok. You don't understand it.
Well, straight lines are pretty understandable, buddy. It's what we use in construction. It's what we write on every day.
No, straight lines, yes.
Don't be retarded.
That's not what we're saying,
though. Stop acting like you're fucking stupid and keep saying dumb, retarded shit around the edge of a fucking ball. Has nothing to do with going straight the fuck out like a fucking
This is why you don't understand it, because that's not what we're talking about.
No, you don't understand. No, I think you're retarded.
How many straight lines are used in the construction of a donut? That's enough.
Same as you got on your Earth, retard. None. You can't make a straight line on your globe because it's flat.
Go check on your icing, boy.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm going to agree with Curve.
How many curves
my
are on your flat
vocabulary
water?
does fuck up sometimes.
How
with
many
this level
curves are on your
thing.
flat
the deviation
water?
From horizontal
retard
is much better description.
Trying to hear Moyak.
What's that?
I said Demok needs a muzzle. I'm trying to hear Moyak.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're trying to hear a
little bit
liar.
wrong in what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can't strike a level between 2 points because they deviate.
What?
A horizontal
Sorry?
is what they establish, but the horizontal deviates from level.
The horizontal deviates from level.
3 points, 3 miles apart. They're all at the same level.
No, just
connect them with the horizontal.
3 points on a mile.
That's what we're saying.
Like 3 points on a mile.
Establish a line that intersects all 3 of those points, even. You have to establish a curve.
How the fuck do you get buildings in straight shit?
How many mile-long buildings do you see? How many mile-long buildings do you see?
Where do you see round train tracks, idiot?
Round train tracks all over.
Yeah, you fucking retard.
Jesus, damn.
Respond to them.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the deviation?
He should just be muted. He doesn't play.
Deviation?
If Moya's going to say outrageous things like that, oh, we can't establish the horizontal. You know, I mean,
no, horizontal that matches level.
If that's what he's going to say, then I'm going to say what Jem is saying. Then he's ignorant. Then the fact that he can't know anything, right?
Curve,
because there are professionals.
I have corrected myself.
There are professionals who go out there and establish the horizontal every day. Now, for you to come and say, "Oh yeah," you
no,
can't.
I agree. I was slightly in error on that. I did not finish the statement.
Okay.
You can establish a horizontal, but it will not match level. Which is really what I was trying to say, but I didn't say it properly. I'm saying that over a mile, it will not yield the same results at both sides.
Well, I think that's what Bev is trying to ask. We're trying to find out if he designs a tool or an experiment, so-called, that shows there is no deviation, absolutely level, horizontal. Are you going to concede, Moya? Will you concede?
Oh, absolutely. Will I concede? Absolutely. I would concede if it actually showed what I demand it show, which is that all the tops of these things line up.
get there. I mean, I think it's just down to the experiment. They want to see this this horizontal, this level that we describe it as.
Yeah, they're acting like we couldn't put a straw on top of a ball.
Okay, then. Well,
Come on now.
Can I just
You couldn't put a
can I
straw
just
in a
put a
donut.
little clarifier in here then, just to
on top of a cue ball.
establish how the simpleness of how this is. I mean, everyone can do this.
Yes.
So,
Simple.
if surveyors can lay out 3 points that are on a same horizontal over a mile, right? The start point, half-mile point, 1 mile point. Then all of those 3 points will be marked as a horizontal, right? And checked. And able to be checked by an auto level of anybody who comes along to do the techniques. We'll teach everybody if there needs to be. So that's established as horizontal with tools by professionals, then 3 points. Then we get a water level tube, 1 mile long. Put an intersection point in the middle of it. So it's 3 points of a water level. And then if we fill it up with water, and the water level matches the horizontal level.
Can I save you a lot of effort? Why are you going to use a water level? You're doing this right next to a waterway. You've got your water level already established.
We can check that with the canal as well at the same time. But the idea initially was to go, because I don't know if you've ever done any surveying and how hard it is to find a tract of land that over a mile will be accessible as level within about about a yard or whatever. Well, that's how you establish a level, right? So then if you find a bit of water, then you can start setting out a horizontal at points and know pretty much that you're not going to have one of the points 2 meters up in the air because you're already on a pretty level tract of land, right? So that makes everything easy from then on. So we establish the horizontal 3 points, surveyors, then add a water level tube, possible world record. I mean, I don't know how long's the longest water level that you've ever seen. Don't know, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Guinness World Record of the longest. I know we can do bigger. We could do 2 miles, right? But just for starters, we'll start off with a mile, and then everybody else can repeat it and get bigger if they want. But just for that, so we put a water level and put 3 points in, and if they match up to the horizontal points, and then we can also measure the height that is above the canal. And if all 3 of the measurements add up, that they are the same, will you concede that it's horizontal, or would you still try and find a curve in it some way?
Do surveyors establish a level or a horizontal?
Hold on, let me ask you something real quick.
Over the whole tract.
Can I ask you something real quick? If we
Rakia, please.
If we stuck an antenna, up in the air, are you guys saying that's curving too?
Yeah,
Is that curving too? The antenna that sticks straight up in the air off the surface, straight up in the air, horizontally,
the
straight
radome
up.
on it is curving.
Hello, is that curving too?
The radome is curving.
Listen, quit not answering what I'm asking you. An antenna that goes straight up, is it fucking curved or not?
The radome is curving. I don't know what you're asking. Are you saying there's a straight line going up?
Is that too simple or something, guys?
It's going to be straight.
Did he answer me as to whether it was possible or not?
Well, I basically was trying to get clarification on something. In technical terms, whoever knows, not only relegated to
Do you know how a dock is made, dude? You get your point of land and you keep going out, even if it deviates from the water. You keep straight from your first line. You know, you dumb bitch. Quit saying don't fucking add your shit. And you keep going out, and you're gonna be farther away from the water, farther on a ball, and it'll look like a hat brim going out into fucking space. Idiot.
Why is he even here?
Why are you even here? You sound like you're retarded. We're trying to ask you questions you can't even answer, like a 3-year-old would be able to. About a ball in a straight line. Come on now, idiot.
You're asking about a ball in a straight line? Go ahead, Trev.
Listen, we can go to art class. with fifth graders and say which one's the ball and which one's the straight line. Not fucking one of them are going to confuse the two. Retards.
He's in dreamland. There's no making any sense of what he says.
Yeah, you're in straitjacket land. Why you guys keep putting stuff on other people when you guys are retarded and keep saying everything matches everything else? They're the opposite. Fucking retards.
I designed cell phone networks and you designed donuts. Good job.
I don't give a fuck what you design. You design a retarded ass fucking lie. You retarded. That's why you're laughing. You're full of shit, motherfucker.
Oh, I'm full of shit?
You couldn't design fucking toilet paper. You fucking retard. You can't even make a straight line. You're too dumb to make a straight line. How could you design something that wasn't a circle, bitch? Sounds like you should be the donut maker.
Well, maybe I should have been.
Of course, mate.
Yeah, maybe you should be the retard.
Whatever
like
I
me.
see is round. Hey, look at that! Look at that railroad track. Isn't it a donut?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a donut. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
And you guys actually asked. You actually said, "Hey, why don't we use water? Water's level."
You should do his job because you're stupid.
We're trying to make sure your round water level is straight, right? So when we line up our straight level with your round imaginated water level, and our straight level does the same as your round imaginated water level that doesn't exist,
Really
guess what?
was talking
Guess what?
before you tried to
It means
talk
it's
way up.
flat.
But nobody
Welcome to
stops
Flat
the
Earth.
muck. This conversation's over. Good
Because
luck
I have
with it.
common sense.
I hope you do something right for once.
Yeah, I hope you know what a straight line and a circle is in the future. Straight
All right.
jacket.
I'm sorry, but it's impossible to have communication anymore. So have a nice day. I'll just listen.
You wasn't adding anything.
You give him an out.
All he fucking adds is conjecture. That's it. That's all he kept asking you guys. The same dumb questions when he knows how to do it from the beginning. He's just asking you retarded ass questions. And then he keeps saying stupid shit. Every time he would slip up, agree with you, and then say, no, level, on a ball. Are these guys retarded? They're just repeating themselves, and we're not even saying what they're saying. Is that not straitjacket material when you sit in a corner and repeat yourself and nobody's even talking to you about what you're talking about?
Did you hear that, Waz?
Certainly did.
How about that?
Well, cut it out. We'll cut it out, both of you.
My irony meter is already broken, but I still sensed it myself, even without the meter.
You think the test's good then? Referencing a water level with a horizontal level set by professionals. You think that's a...
Good luck to you. I hope you do it right.
Okay, well, which bit? Because, I mean, the surveyor bit, right, will be done by professionals, you think that? Because you wouldn't trust us to do that bit, would you? 3 points over over a mile. We'd obviously have to get professionals in to do that. Now, do you think they could do it? Because that's the main point.
What are you going to ask the surveyors to establish? Are you going to
just 3 points on a horizontal? Yes, please.
Are you going to have them establish a horizontal or a level?
A horizontal. I'm going to specifically ask them that I want 3 points on the same horizontal, please, Mr. Surveyor.
That's probably a good way of asking for it.
You think?
And then what we're going to do is we're just going to get a big, massive hose pipe. I mean, that's not going to be that technical, is it? You know, we can't get that wrong, right?
No,
we're just filling a hose pipe up with water in. Like, I know you think we're simple, but I mean, we can't really get that wrong, can we? Now, when we put that up to the other one, what do you think it'll say?
The only thing you could get wrong with that is the obviously leaks and stuff, but that's simple. The challenge is going to be getting the right diameter pipe to level out in any kind of a reasonable amount of time.
So you agree that water is
Hold
level?
on. What do you?
No, absolutely. Nobody disagrees with it being level.
Okay.
The question is whether horizontal and level are the same thing.
Okay. So you're saying
only locally.
From one end, right, of the water level, it will be horizontal, and the other end will be 8 inches below horizontal. But
Correct.
If you walked to the other end, then the water level will change, because by the time you get to the other end, it will be at the same height as the horizontal, right?
I'm not sure what you said there.
Yeah, because your
on a
logic
flat plane,
is
yes.
nonsensical.
Shut up, Demok. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, because whenever you do a traverse, right, over a horizontal, you go to one end and then you go back to your original point.
The water level will deviate from level. From God damn it.
From horizontal. Yeah.
From horizontal.
Yeah, at the point you're at. So
As
we'll
you
say at
walk,
the beginning, let's say we're
every
at
point that you go,
point
it will start
0.
Deviating slightly.
Yeah, we'll say we're at point 0 though, and we've got a water level, right? It's a tube. It's just got water at each end. Now,
yes.
Are you saying that at one end of that, it will be level with the horizontal, at the same level as the horizontal mark on the thing, but the other end will deviate?
This is where you get the technical and versus not.
It's not. This is pretty simple. This is basic logic, this, I think.
There is an infinitesimal variation at close distances.
Yeah, but it's a mile hose pipe, right? The water level at each end.
You're only a couple feet away.
No, it's a mile. Like, because that's why we established 3 points.
Okay, so the full mile, it'll be approximately 8 inches deviated.
Okay, so, but that 8 inches deviant is dependent on which side of the water level you're standing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right, that makes sense, right?
Of course.
To you?
No, actually.
So, what do you reckon is that?
So
there's an 8-inch deviance of each side, depending on where you are.
No.
So if you're standing in the middle, is there like 2 inches either end? Because I mean, it's fantastic, but I mean, yeah, I think that's what you're calling for, right? Have a think about it.
I understand your problem here, right?
I want you to, for 1 second, imagine your school.
No, we don't want to imagine.
No, please, Demok, I'm not talking to you. I'd like you to imagine for a moment.
Denmark.
Oh, who are you? Oh, you're Rakia. Rakia.
Yeah, I'm the other guy who has common sense.
Yeah.
Yes. You and Donut Man. Okay, thank you.
I like donuts.
So for a moment,
they're
I would
round.
like. It's Fisherman and Donut Man.
They have a circumference. You can measure drop from horizontal on a donut.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can measure drop on the
Earth. No.
You can measure drop on Earth.
No, you can't. Have you ever tried?
I've seen it.
Seen it? Seen it.
And actually, from your own words, you've seen it too.
You said it.
You've also seen it too. I remember you saying that you can't.
Would disagree.
I've never seen curve.
You have you've seen drop. And you've admitted that, and you've said that. So please, I was talking to level as horizontal man.
Well, when water is finding its level, why wouldn't you see certain drops? That's how it works, right?
What?
What's my name again? Sorry, I don't think you got that right.
I said water level man. Sorry, level is horizontal man.
No, it says, look, check my name, please.
I'm not looking there. Okay,
it's going. It's lighting it up for you. Say it. Say it.
What's your name? Where are you?
I'm here. I'm talking now.
Post the message, Bev.
This is pointless. Absolutely pointless.
So full of crap.
So, I was
saying,
wondering if for a moment that you could go back to school in your mind and imagine that gravity works as specified on a ball.
Imagine gravity.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Bev, if you'd let me, please. And
okay.
If you can honestly answer the questions.
Yeah.
Now,
well, at least
if
you know his name now.
Sorry.
If
the vector of gravity is straight down at every square inch of that sphere.
It's perpendicular. I do understand geometry, right? And I can't imagine it curving perpendicular because it's 2 straight lines. It's a relationship of a straight line towards another straight line.
No, one is a curved line. So
no, but that's not perpendicular. That's not what the definition of perpendicular is. Perpendicular is 2 straight lines.
2 straight lines.
Yeah, that's perpendicular, right? You are using Euclidean geometry, are you? You are using Euclidean geometry. Are you?
I don't even care.
You don't even care. Just freestyling it. Okay, like
Yep,
well,
I'm
you're
talking
using
about what we
a
observed
form
local, we
of
can
fight
use
the
either,
flat
but
Earth
there's a
geometry.
deviation
Then.
that has to be explained.
That's handy. I like that. Can you freestyle
You
us a
establish,
definition?
we all can. Now
Maybe.
we all can agree that we can establish a horizontal. The horizontal deviates from level, so you don't have two straight lines.
When is this test being done?
Parallel.
With the survey being done.
You see, while you are imagining things, I'm 10 minutes away from establishing a horizontal line like I do every day.
Are you making another segmented curve?
No, I'm establishing from one starting data point, which is usually a nail in a tree set by a professional surveyor, and off of that, I can establish a horizontal line as far as you want me to take it.
How far are you taking it?
As far as the
how
contractor
far
tells
are
me
you
to.
taking it?
Spoken like a proud professional there,
Okay, I
Dave.
want
I'm
you to do
liking
it for
it.
100 miles.
You mean today? You mean in 10 minutes?
Well, you said you're about to do it, so I'm thinking the
Turning
thing
on
that
the
you're about to
street
do.
now, what I do every day, what you've never done, and what you're trying to tell me I'm going to do wrong today.
Oh, I'm telling you based upon what other people say you've done wrong also.
Oh, so you're basing your theory on what other people have said,
Right,
not what you've done or what
professionals have said about what you've done.
So how long do I have to do this to be a professional? 30 years?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Professional in different realms.
You think
It's
if I got a
geodetic surveying,
license to do it?
you
think if I
can
got a
do a
license?
wonderful job of establishing a level across a property.
You think if I had a
Can this stop?
license?
Can this stop? This is being
If
silly.
I had a license to
It's just
do it,
being
am
silly.
I a professional? Am I a professional then? And would you trust me?
There's a simple question to be asked.
Because I have a license, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's very nice. That's very nice, Rakia. Now, can we just stop this ridiculous conversation?
For 30 years.
Okay,
Am
I think you do. I think you do
Don't
your job
entertain
just
it,
fine,
Mike.
but your job is not sufficient for doing.
Dude, you want to stop this guy, really? You know, he's insulting a lot of professional people.
I'm not actually in this case. I just said I agree that he's.
I know you're relaying messages from Jesse and who else? Larry, right? And these are not nice messages, Mayock.
What's the furthest distance I've created a horizontal line over?
3 miles approximately. About 3 miles approximately. Approximately 3 miles, cunt.
Have I done 3 miles?
You said you did. Unless you were
I
lying.
didn't. I said I did 2.8 miles.
Okay, sorry. I'm rounding.
The same way I'm going to do it today.
Shooting back to front and reestablishing every 300 feet
Like
at most.
every other surveyor would do it.
Nope.
Yep.
Not a geodetic. A geodetic would not.
Geodetic don't do horizontal lines over long distances like that.
Here's the
Are you getting it? Are you getting it?
Rakia.
Planar surveyors do it.
Rakia,
Are y'all getting it?
What have you done to establish that your horizontal over 2.8 miles, one single horizontal line, is congruent with level over that distance?
I did it over water. So when I got my horizontal line and went and measured down from the established horizontal, it was level.
Whoa.
Water level.
Are you in segments and repositioning your horizontal establisher?
We did it every way possible. It all matches.
Did you do it from putting your auto level or whatever you use to initially establish horizontal and not move that piece of equipment? Did you compare each level measurement to that initial origin point of horizontal?
Are you trying to say that he doesn't know what horizontal is?
Bev, there's a question going.
Yeah, I know.
No need for all questions. It's just a simple answer from Rakia. Yes, he did this, or no, he did not.
Your question is nonsensical. I don't think you've ever done this, so you can't ask
No,
the
no.
question right. I did a back to front horizontal level.
Okay, so you're going to complete the terms and pretend you win.
I'm not
Have a good
conflating
day,
anything.
sir.
I'm doing what every other surveyor would do.
Wait a minute. Can I have a go at rephrasing this? I think what he's saying, Dave, is, did you check that there was an angular change between the two horizontals when you were doing backsight and foresight and moving your leveling machine? Did you check that there wasn't an angular change in between the horizontals?
I'd rather you not do that because that's
No angular change.
No.
It's horizontal.
It's a straight line.
Plums at either end. They're parallel.
How did you confirm that?
Surveying tools confirm it.
No, that's, oh my God.
Yeah, oh my goodness. The ones you've never used?
The simpleton is just too much here.
Simpleton.
You're not going to get a straight answer, Curve, by the
I
sounds
can
of it.
even teach you, Curve, how to do it.
All right, Curved, I can
Today.
answer you. He took a back-to-front shot, then reestablished his position every time, and no, he did not compare over the whole range to see if the angles were all the same.
You can't compare over 3 miles using an optic. You know
No,
why?
because you keep getting a fucking drop.
No, because you get refraction involved and perspective and everything else. That's why we don't do it to be accurate.
Perspective
You know
doesn't
what
vary.
is the problem?
Level curves. And you're not doing anything to disprove that.
At least the assertion is that level curves, so you're not disproving the assertion. So if you want to take it from a purely
Horizontal is what I did. And horizontal does not curve. Sure does.
So far, what I've learned
There
is
you have it.
Is horizontal, and 8 miles is about 2,500 feet.
Hear that.
Sorry, but what keeps getting bickered about is things that are simply defined in surveying, surveying guides, manuals, glossaries, things of this nature. We're not making anything up. It's nothing new. These are the terms of the industry, and we got people who don't understand them or just wish to obfuscate their simple written definitions.
No, it's simple. A horizontal over a mile. Simple.
The statement's true. I'm not going to bicker with you about it, Bev.
No, I'm not saying there's no argument or anything. I'm just saying that's all you have to. No. Can surveyors, like not even me, like professional surveyors, can they establish 3 points over a mile that are on a horizontal?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not a standard surveying technique, though.
Differential leveling, yeah, of course it is. It's the standard.
No, not leveling.
For elevation, yeah, of course it is. That's it.
You don't establish a level over 3 miles. A horizontal over 3 miles.
You use differential leveling to establish an unknown benchmark into a known benchmark into an unknown benchmark.
It's just
for
it's
elevation
not a
change,
test.
right?
Usually, most surveyors are tasked with is establishing a level over relatively or a continuing level, so a segmented curve. That's all they're.
No. It's just the deviation of the land, right? The elevation of the land from a level point, from a horizontal datum. That's what it is, and it's just a change in elevation or the distance in between those horizontal datums, right?
Oh my God, he's misunderstanding horizontal datum, I think.
Nice try.
That is a
Go on
point.
then. Show us what I'm misunderstanding about a horizontal plane.
It's a plane.
A point in like horizontal, like its elevation.
What?
What is horizontal datum?
It's perpendicular to vertical, right? Horizontal. Perpendicular to vertical. Now, vertical is a 360 degree thing. It's not just looking at it from left to right. It's looking at it all the way round, right? So the perpendicular to that one particular vertical stretches out on a plane. That plane is called a horizontal plane.
All right, now I'm asking you about the datum, the horizontal datum. That I know of these datum points that surveyors place.
Yep.
They give their geographic, the coordinates and elevation.
Yep.
At that point. Okay, the point itself is not perpendicular, obtuse.
Yes, it's a vertical.
Not anything other than a point.
Yeah, it's a vertical elevation above a datum point, right? That's what it's established at. That's a benchmark. It's what you're talking about there, or what I call a benchmark.
Maybe above mean sea level.
Above a datum, which it would be a horizontal datum.
Bab, for somebody who complains about getting talked over the way you do, good day.
Good day, Curved.
Another one bites. You are extremely frustrating, Ben. And I think you do it. I think you do it deliberately. I think you.
We're going ad hom attack now. Here we're going.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Jumping in at the end.
It's an observation. It's an observation. Kimo, I'm speaking.
All right, go on.
I think you deliberately frustrate people with whom you argue. I think you've practiced it over a period of some time. I think you know you do it. You've got this one thing being level equals horizontal, and that's it. That's really all you have. Right, I'm done now, Kimo, you can go.
Well, for me, another one bites the dust. They think that they can challenge what is obvious. Horizontal is level, straight, parallel, doesn't curve, doesn't bend.
Local, very local, very local.
So what happens, Chris, as a result of not being able to prove that a straight line is curved, you had Hans come out. It's like...
This is why people get frustrated, because it's a stupid argument. It's a retarded argument.
Chris, this determines whether the Earth is flat. Hold on, Drus. This determines whether the Earth is flat or curved, Chris. This is a very important argument.
No, it doesn't.
Of course it does, because Bev is saying, if it's horizontal after a mile, when does it start...
if he's a flat earther, Kimo.
When does it start to drop, Chris?
He's a flat earther.
All right, he's not a flat earther. The point is, the horizontal, when does that start to drop? After a mile, after half a mile?
Tell you.
Exactly. So that's the point. So we've got a lot of people...
Kimo, you haven't been following the conversation. So go ahead and keep speaking the way you are at this moment and appearing the way that you appear right now. Completely ignorant as to what has been discussed.
Oh, I'm fully aware.
Just your education. So I'm now speaking.
Curbed, are you in a classroom by yourself?
I've just posted a nice picture in the chat for you, Kimo, as well as the source site. Sorry, I was in the middle of saying something.
There's no need for that. Go on. I want to ask.
So, and this is describing the horizontal datum. So, can you look at that and tell me where it's making?
We can all see it. Talk us through it.
So there you go. That's showing that the reference point the point that you just made is not accurate to what surveyors are saying. So why are you doing that?
Yeah, talk us through it. What we've got? We've got a green circle and two little green circles. How does this prove that the horizontal is curved?
I'm saying that what you're saying is incorrect, and here is the information that I've posted showing that. So
well, I can't be correct because I'm asking a question. How do we establish when does that horizontal start to deviate, start to curve?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a sentence. So I've provided now the information for you to go and reference so you can correct your pattern.
No, I'm looking at it right now. You've got three green circles. Got it here on the big screen. So either you talk us through it, or we just see this as another diagram of you trying to explain how a straight line is supposed to curve.
And above it, you'll see there is the full surveyor site where this image came from, where you can look at that. So in surveying a geodesy, a datum is a reference system or an approximation of the Earth's surface against which positional measurements are made. And then it goes into talking about the fact that when you take a horizontal datum, it's connected to the geoid, the ellipse of the Earth. So surveyors are saying that the point you're making is wrong. So I am invoking people that do this for a living, and I'm showing where there is a disagreement with your point of where you're going. So you can either educate yourself and understand what they are saying, or you can choose not to.
I think I see where the problem is here, right? Because when I'm talking about this geometrically. So I'm using Euclidean geometry, and when I hear perpendicular, I hear two straight lines, because that's defined within Euclidean geometry, right? I don't see a curve, right? So wait a minute, wait. So that's what I have to go from my only knowledge, right, for geometry is Euclidean. So can you show me where your definition of the obviously different geometry than Euclidean, where you have a statement where you say a perpendicular line or is a straight line to a curve?
If you look at the diagram that I put in there, it actually has a perpendicular to the ellipsoid. Can you see that?
Right, so is that a straight line? That's perpendicular to another straight line?
No, it's perpendicular to a curved line.
Where?
This
Curve, did you just ask what a diagram has to do with it?
It's the tangent.
What you guys put as retard diagrams?
The tangent is a straight line, and the radius line is also a straight line. They are perpendicular to each other, as defined as perpendicular. They're right angles to each other. They're two straight lines.
Perpendicular to a point.
Dan, hold on. Dan had an opinion on this diagram. What was your opinion on this diagram here?
Well, every time we bring out a diagram, Herb yells, "Why are we using this diagram?" But when he brings out a diagram, it's fine. It's great. It's cool. Bring them out all day.
This is a lie.
And all their diagrams are saying, you can't make a straight line, you guys.
Oh my God. All right, so the question to Bev is, you say you only know Euclidean geometry, and that's all that you're willing to apply to the situation. Planar geometry. Why are you presupposing that the Earth is flat and conforms to your planar geometry?
Just using reality geometry, right?
Yeah, we can use reality just like you use your imagination and say the curve follows your imagination.
What part Bev contains the word demo?
We're not presupposing.
Okay, well, wait a minute.
Horizontally water.
Geometry, within the word, the etymology of the word is earth measurement, right? So that is initially measuring the earth. And the geometry that they had when they made it is Euclidean. It was around for 2000. Well, it's been around forever, and it's still the basis of all known geometry to this day, right? So when you say, well, wait a minute. So when you say I'm just using that geometry, it's well founded in definitions and axioms, the rules of it, and the propositions, the proofs within it. It proves itself. It's an axiomatic system. Now, for you to say, not that, just some other geometry, right? You've got to define it better than that. Otherwise, you're doing what Fight the Flat Earth does and just going, well, in my not Euclidean geometry, straight lines can curve and parallel lines intersect. And that's fine in this made-up, not Euclidean geometry I've got. I've not got any definition for it or any reason to say it other than the fact that I can just make shit up. That's what it seems like you're doing, Curved.
And I'm not. And what you
He's
just
scared
said
of reality.
doesn't really have anything to do with what I asked you. You limit yourself to one type of geometry. You're trying
Same as you.
find the earth plaque.
Pot calling the kettle black.
Dumb, shut the fuck up. And here's the thing. You act as though other forms of geometry do not exist.
Pot calling the kettle black.
Dumb.
Go ahead, Kev. I got him.
Now, Bev.
I was just about
like
to
I
ask.
said, Euclidean is not the only geometry that exists. It may be the only you're familiar with and the only one that you're willing to apply. But that does not mean that that applies to the Earth.
Nick, can you name the other geometry, please?
Spherical geometry.
Spherical geometry.
Pythagorean geometry.
Pythagorean geometry. What's that?
Pythagoras theorem is geometry.
Wait a minute. Pythagorean theorem is proposition 47 within Euclidean geometry. So Pythagorean theorem is a proof within Euclidean geometry. It's mainly a proof of shapes, right?
Who came first?
The square.
Pythagoras or Euclid?
Well, seeing as Pythagorean theorem, as I just said, proposition 47, book 1, Euclidean elements, that is within the geometry system. So it is part of the axiomatic system that goes together to make Euclidean geometry.
Who came first?
It is a proof. Obviously, fucking hell, Pythagoras, right? But was he the one that invented that particular thing? Or did the Egyptians use it in order to make a square?
Very, very good question. He's
3, 4, 5. I mean, did they know about 3, 4, 5 triangles? I would say they definitely do.
The first references we have to it are referencing Pythagoras.
Yep.
That's why we call it Pythagorean theorem.
Yep. Triangles, 180-degree internal angles, and that particularly makes a 90-degree angle on one of the sides, doesn't it?
So we agreed there was
perpendicular type.
And there's been geometry developed.
Euclid put all of the logic that was known about the Earth and the way they measured it into an axiomatic system that ends up internally proving itself with all of the propositions within it. Right? It is a perfect geometry. Can you name another geometry for me, please? The one that you presuppose that you're going to be throwing all of that stuff out. You're going to be getting rid of all of that Euclidean. I mean, that's old school now, right? You've made up a new geometry.
Wait 1 second, Ben. So, when we use non-Euclidean geometry, are we not building
you just mean not that geometry,
Can I
right?
finish my point?
Okay.
Are you going to interrupt me continuously? Can you please stop this? I'm not interrupting you. Please don't do this to me. It's really fucking rude. If you want to act like a rude person, please carry on. If you want to act like a gentleman and engage properly, let's continue. So, when we look at non-Euclidean geometry, that's building on Euclid. It's showing that there were problems that Euclid did not account for and could not account for in his two-dimensional view of the world.
It's book 11 is the book of solids. It's three-dimensional. Euclidean geometry does three-dimensional geometry, right? So don't say it's two-dimensional geometry when it isn't.
And how do you do that?
You use all of the definitions and the axiomatic system that goes together for Euclid, and you combine it with book 11. Now, it being book 11, you've obviously gone a long way because it's an axiomatic system that everything builds on what goes before it, right? So you have to understand quite a lot of geometry that goes before you get to book 11. But book 11, that's where the solid geometry is.
And he's taking two-dimensional slices out of solid geometry, isn't he?
He's just doing solid geometry.
Is it a slice?
it's doing solid geometry, right? And because it's redefined within it. Length, breadth, thickness. 3 dimensions.
So I'm still waiting for an answer to my question.
What, they're saying that I've just told you. There is 3-dimensional solid geometry in book 11 of the elements, Euclid. Now, it's part of Euclidean geometry that 3-dimensional shapes exist.
Yeah, right.
Right, okay, so, like, what's your problem?
Again, I'm asking, how does he deal with them?
By redefining it. I mean, you're not ready for like I said, this is book 11. Right? You can't just teach book 11 Euclidean geometry to somebody without knowing the fundamentals of what comes before it.
Stop addressing my question.
And your question is?
When it's dealing with 3D objects, we're dealing with slices of those objects, aren't we?
No, we're dealing with the 3-dimensional object.
Cool.
Like a spherical object is a 3-dimensional spherical object. Right? As defined within Euclidean geometry. There's a definition for a spherical solid within Euclid. He doesn't mention a lot of little slices, no.
So when we go through propositions 11 to 19 in book 11, he's talking about how you deal with 3-dimensional solids.
Yeah, mathematically, geometrically. What's he doing? He's showing how you show that geometrically on paper, is he?
In 2 dimensions using slices.
Yeah, because that's all he can, because it's the concept on the paper, right? I mean, how's he meant to show you a 3-dimensional object? It's not a pop-up book.
I'm sorry to speak over you, Bev, but it needed to be said. You did deny that.
Deny what?
I'm going to stop now because I'm going to get annoyed because I don't think
there is 3-dimensional geometry within the book, but that doesn't mean it turns into pop-up geometry. He can only express it on the page of the book.
Are you going to stop punching down now, Russ?
Punching down? Are you putting me up high?
I asked Russ if he was going to stop punching down.
Oh, right, okay, so you're putting me down low.
I'm putting you in your proper place. Down low, where you belong, though.
Yeah, for saying that level is horizontal, right? Sticking to Euclidean geometry.
That's not the only thing you say, but that is a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, do your test, Beb. Get your surveyors, establish your horizontal, measure your difference between level and horizontal, and then weep endlessly.
Okay.
Do me a favor, Curb. Dig more than 8 miles down to establish your core, and then go thousands of miles forward and 8 miles down. What do you get with that? Do you get a ball with that? What is that?
What?
What is 8 miles down and straight forward horizontally? What does that make? It makes a flat plane, you idiot.
Masterfully slipped in.
So you only got 4 miles as the center of your Earth. So 4 miles is the center of your big boy Earth, right? And you can go thousands of miles across the top of it, but only 4 miles, 8 miles down, 4 miles in the center.
Sorry, that's a total straw man, and I reject it. So thank you.
That's reality, buddy. Dig deeper. Show me how you can dig more than 8 miles. Reality. Reality. Can you dig deeper than 8 miles? Show us you can dig deeper than 8 miles and stick an 8, 9 mile
Can you stop saying dig deeper than 8 miles? Can you please stop saying that? It's ridiculous.
Stop saying bullshit then. Stop saying 24,000.
Right. I've got to cut out, guys.
I've
got to go.
You don't
See you
have
later.
8,000.
Been cool.
So 8 miles up. Your ladder is 8 miles.